Jacko in the 15, George Wollstonecroft in the 66, Howard Stanfield in the 88, Stan Marco Jr. in the 77 is what I've got on my running sheet. They're not in that order, but we'll soon sort them out. Once that green flag drops, we will get them in some sort of order in no time at all. Righto, first time in a very, very long time, the Super Rods back here at Heartland Raceway, supporting the Modified Grand National title. Right, green flags at the ready. Race 1 of the night, Super Rods. And the green is down, and it's Kavanagh gets a nice start there. Kavanagh drops it in, as I said, he's no slouch. Stan Marco Jr. in the 77 car tucks into second spot. Then it's the Van der Hoven car. I think it is in the 84. Is slipped up to third, but out in front. Kavanagh doing it pretty easy at the moment. Jason Kavanagh from Marco back to Van der Hoven, then the 83 of Jacob Pitcher, Stanfield, Wollstonecroft, and Jacko at the rear. Down the back straight, and Kavanagh doing what he does best. This man is a driver, and he starts to get away already from Marco. And as Liam alluded to earlier on, having these cars go the opposite direction is going to be brilliant for the modifieds. It just works that surface in a different direction. As they go down the back straight again to put another lap down, and Marco, he can't quite get there with Kavanagh, but Kavanagh can't quite shake him off either, as they've pulled right away now from third place. Van der Hoven in the 84 car, the little Mini, and in behind him the Daihatsu of Jacob Pitcher, if you could call them a Daihatsu. I think there's two Daihatsus there. The Wollstonecroft car is also a Daihatsu. Power to weight ratios, these things, yeah, grouse. Plenty of power, not much weight. Naturally aspirated. For those illiterate people that don't know about motors, a naturally aspirated car, of course, is not fuel injected. It's got a carburetor on it. And the track looking beautiful for these guys. First race of the day, and it's an 8-lap race for the Super Rods. The heats for the modifieds will be 10 laps. There's a bit of pressure now for third spot over there as the 84 car of Paul Van der Hoven had Pitcher right up the inside of him there for a minute, having a bit of a look, but then it's dropped back again. Marco just can't make an impression on Kavanagh. Kavanagh doing it pretty easy out in front. But here's the go again as the Pitcher car has a bit of a look up the inside again. Can't quite get there. He's trying. There's plenty of room if you want to get out wide. You don't have to go under him up here at Heartland. There's plenty of room to go outside as well. They come around and Pitcher lost touch again. Seems to pick it up down here in turns 1 and 2 for them. 3 and 4 for the modifieds, but it's 1 and 2 for them. As we go back then from Pitcher back to Wollstonecroft, Howard Stanfield, Stacey Jacko at the back. Oh, checkered flag right on the line. Kavanagh backs it off a little bit. Marco right there with him. Over for third spot will be Paul Van der Hoven in the 84 car, with Jacob Pitcher in the 83. Picking up 4th place, 5th place to George Wollstonecroft, 6th to Howard Stanfield, and 7th to Stacey Jacko in the Hamilton 15. So a good little race to start them off. Good to see Jason Kavanagh back on the track and back behind the wheel again.
Yes, wonderful display by our Super Rods here as support to the National Modified Sedan title. Track looking a picture here in the early, I was going to say the early hours of the evening. It's 5:45 local time here, and the sun does not set for a little while yet. We get used to this southern time zone thing, Liam.
Yeah, we got pretty long days down in these parts, mate. The sun certainly beats down right until about 8:30 some nights as well, when she doesn't get a bit overcast. Cool seeing the Super Rods back again at Heartland Raceway, Moama. Of course, their opening heat race was sponsored by Bell Distribution. 8 laps of the Super Rods for their first heat of the night, going to the W55 of Jason Kavanagh, the last car to roll back to the pits. And of course, that means, Jared, we are very close now to the opening heat side of things on the bottom there, and let Carlin go back by. Might have just bunched the field up and made it look maybe uglier than it even was. But nonetheless, lights are out and we're set for another start. Let's get heat race number 1 in the books. And we're going to crown the first heat winner of the weekend for the National Modified Sedan title, presented by Bendigo Metal Fabrications. It's Miller and Carlin again, Redcliffe and West. Back to Hayden and Uren. Coming off turn 4, we're green again. That's a more even launch by Carlin. Miller's going to run him high. Here comes Redcliffe up the inside. Wow, cars are locked to the low side. It was only Hayden that went up high. Ty Galley's up 4 spots now as well from the rear in the N0. Raymond.
Oh!
Carlin.
Drama early for the Nissan. And it looks like a whole heap of fluid on the racetrack as Carlin's going to pull to the inside. We're going to go yellow on the Raceway. What a heartbreaking start to the event for the Adam Holt Industries number 2 machine. We might see if we can work out exactly what the cause was there. As West and Galley are around on the inside of turns 3 and 4, Liam, that we probably got out of that reasonably lightly compared to what we could have had unfold there. And Carlin is parked on the inside of the speedway. Third attempt here, and it's Miller and West on your front row, Redcliffe and Uren on the second row. Keep your eyes on Raymond and the national champion Kai Walters from the back of the bus in this one. We're bringing him in fast as Westy gets a good jump on the outside. We'll see if this one stays green. Miller tips it in on the bottom and washes to the middle of the racetrack as they're 3 wide in turns 1 and 2. Walters through the middle as Galley gets into the door down the back straight away, and we're still 3 wide into turns 3 and 4 as we come to the end of lap number 1, and we're going to get a lap in here in the National Modified Sedan title as Graham West in the Tirana. Yes, the Tirana in the 2022 national title leads, and big contact in turns 1 and 2 as Redcliffe goes around and it left Raymond nowhere to go with Mick Johnson in there as well, Liam.
How do you like your action served, Jared? Right here in front of us.
Oh.
Struggling to get a few laps in the books here, and it's Redcliffe that brings the 28 facing the wrong way, and the first car through is the other 28, of course, Aidan Raymond. It collects Redcliffe head on, Jared. Was no missing that whatsoever. Tell you who did a good job of missing that was the current national champion in Kai Walters. That car managed to break on the racing line and still move out of the way, but Raymond just left nowhere to go.
Yeah, Redcliffe totally on his own too. There was no contact from other vehicles. He just lost that in the corner. And unfortunate, as you say, Raymond nowhere to go.
And he's not particularly impressed with that. He went over and gave Matt Redcliffe some of his thoughts about what unfolded in turns 1 and 2. Plenty of damage on the front of the Corroy Auto Wreckers TGJ Contracting number 28 machine. And the helmet has just gone flying on the infield here. Hayden certainly not pleased with how his title started off. A lot of work to do for TJ Horn and Greg Raymond out in the pit area on the Gympie number 28 machine. As Redcliffe's on the hook, Mick Johnson comes to the infield. There is drama aplenty in heat race number 1. Go down. No, we're still flashing on the back straight away. Well, that's the sun reflecting in them. I'll get my eyes checked one day. I'll make a good steward as we're back underway in heat race number 1. And Westy in the Tirana is going to lock it on the bottom and make Damien Miller go to the high side if he wants to go around him. As you said, Chris Hayden looking racy in 3rd. Walters back in 4th. Then Galley, Sweeney, Uren and Mick Johnson round out your field as we're going to lock another lap in here in heat race number 1 of the National Modified Sedan title. Miller the first to look upstairs, Lever. We'll wait and see what the big Henry's got for the little Tirana.
How good is it seeing Westy at the front of a National Modified Sedan heat race? He's looking pretty good too. This surface right now suits that agile little car as we hook up a little bit later on, and stuff it might suit the bigger, more powerful cars, but right now Westy is holding off Damien Miller for that top spot. Kai Walters peppering the tail of the VB18 of Chris Hayden, tucked right in, as well as the N0 of Ty Galley. He's come from the final row on the grid up to P5. This battle for 2, 3 and 4 really starting to source up, Jared.
Yeah, Miller goes to the middle lane, and he might actually leave himself vulnerable here as Hayden gets a good run off the bottom of 4. Miller tries to lock it back down on the bottom, just misses it a little bit, and that gives Chris Hayden a sniff. He puts the left front up on the inside berm, shoots down the back straight away in the Hayden race cars. Number 18, EB Falcon. Westy running that middle lane in 3 and 4 this time. And it's a little bit how you're going in the turns 3 and 4 on the bottom. Miller goes back to the middle in 1 and 2. There's a little bit more purchase up there down that end of the racetrack.
Yeah, Chris Hayden finds that slick groove through the middle, and here comes the national champion. Kai Walters is going to peel right past. Hayden might be slowing as well. It could be just my eyes.
Yeah, right rear down on the EB Falcon. So Hayden's going to struggle to make the end here, Liam.
Ty Galley moves up another spot as the battle at the front intensifies. Not too many now to run. Westy continues in the dogfight with Damien Miller at the wheel of the 6. It's still the Tirana for RJ Batteries. Coming off turn 4, Miller really going to work now and comes along a closing Kai Walters. Into 1 and 2 they run. Not too many to go now, Jared.
Yeah, it'll be two and a half laps left to run on the Tirana. Still holding on out the front. The Bendigo number 56 locks it on the bottom. 2 to run this time past the stripe for the Advanced Engine Dynamics number 56. Miller goes back to the top side. Westy on the bottom. The BA Falcon running mid-track in turns 1 and 2. The viewers at home will erupt if the Tirana gets up in heat race number 1. They're going to come through 3 and 4 this time. Walters closing as well. There's 1 to run in heat race number 1.
Tell you, if there's a bloke that deserves an opening heat race more than Westy, you'd be able to prove me wrong. Graham West, but Miller had to back out of the battle just a touch through the middle. Down the back straight for the final time in your opening heat race. Graham West continues to hold him off. Has he got enough at the 56? I think he will. Graham West. Westy gets the job done in heat race number 1 from Damien Miller and Kai Walters. Ty Galley, Alex Sweeney, a plume of smoke over the line, followed by Johnson and Uren. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the little red LJ Tirana. Graham West gets the job done in heat race number 1. Man, he'll be ecstatic with this one, Jared.
He set the quickest time too, best on lap 2, 21.116. 21.194 for Miller, 21.280 for Kai.
Yes, Graham West and the little Tirana will roll to the centre chute, and he'll be very pumped up to see Liam Ornger down there. We're going to take a quick commercial break for those tuned in at home. We'll come back with Westy in the Tirana, our heat race number 1 winner, right after this.
So as he just starts to take the helmet off, you'll be able to hear you in a moment, folks, as he removes the balaclava and the earpiece as well. Driving the Bendigo 56, or the V56 this weekend, your opening heat race of a national modified sedan title. Folks, put your hands together for Graham West. Westy, we are absolutely stoked for you, mate. The crowd erupts and everyone back at home watching on the Speedway Sedans live stream as well. Be absolutely stoked for you, mate. How's it feel to win the opening heat race of the title?
Unreal. I don't care what happens now. The car's great. The track's tricky. I don't know how everyone else managed on it. I spun in trying to blow the top off it for you and put on a bit of a show, but parked it on the bank, the concrete over there for a bit, but I survived. Thanks, Liam, for the interview, and thanks to the SSA for putting on the event here, and Heartland Raceway. But my main sponsors, R&J Batteries, AED Engines out of Bendigo, Fuchs Oils, and everyone else behind the car. My crew, Mark, Tammy, my brother Brian for a first time. I have habits with brothers for a first time. Thanks, Liam, and thanks everyone for having me.
Congratulations, Westy. You're going to take home a heat race winner board as well. Back to the pits in the LJ Tirana. We'll grab a photo with you as well. You can hold that one out the door, mate. If nothing else, you got one of the coolest looking heat winner boards to take home in this little red LJ Tirana for Graham West. Folks, put your hands together once more.
A little taster, a little trial before you get to run your heat race to see where you're going to run the car through turns 1 and 2, as we're not too far away from getting underway in heat race number 2, Liam.
Yeah, we've already seen that curb getting put to use so far. You really notice it when that left front pipes right up in the air as the wheel rides right the way around the berm. This second heat race, brought to us by All Stone Quarries, is set for a start. Pimenta and Hallett on the front row. Set for a start. It's a nice late launch, and it's even. The Rocket Pimenta, number 8, leads into turn 1, and she's a gaggle. 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 is McCarthy on the bottom. Smith and Wicks. David Smith around the top on McCarthy, and Smith is up to P3. It's Pimenta that leads in the Rocket 8 from Dale Hallett back to David Smith, and I think there's a lot of speed left in this 19. Wade McCarthy, Michael Wicks, back to Tristan McGraw, and head right on the extreme side of the racetrack around the top for that massive battle of positions 8, 9, 10 and 11.
She's a battle royal back at the back of the bus as Tangles look to the inside of Condor that time, gave a little serve, and Corey Knox tries to range up onto the back of the Q24 machine. We go back to the front of the field now, and Rocket Rodney Pimenta still leads us. As we're 3 laps in, there'll be 7 to run this time by. Hallett still in second, not falling away from your leader here. Back to David Smith in third. McCarthy and Wicks make your top 5. As McGraw draws into the battle here for the top 5 placings. Pretty bunched up at the front of the field here as Rodney Pimenta just missed the bottom that time in 3 and 4 in the U-Design Living. RCP machining, number 8 machine. You'll go back to the bottom in 1 and 2, and that's the best way around the raceway at the moment. The car looks a little tight on entry, but it means he gets plenty of purchase off the corner. Hallett going with him on the bottom though, and what a head of steam the 15 machine's got. A little telltale puff of smoke out of the back of that car. As we come to the line, there'll be 5 to run, Liam.
Dale Hallett has the legs to run with Pimenta. The speed at the tail of the straight that Hallett has in his N15 is unmatched by Pimenta, but Rodney Rocket beating him off the corner. Down the back straight they fire again. Hallett going to work on the inside rear quarter panel on Pimenta. This is letting Smith catch ground. Here comes David Smith. Hallett has slowed big time and loses a number of positions. Dale Hallett has problems in the N15. David Smith up to P2 from Wade McCarthy, Michael Wicks, Tristan McGraw and Lucas Conda.
Rocket Pimenta comes past the line as 3 to run this time. He's got a little bit of a gap over David Smith, the former national champion, running in second. McCarthy still third as Wicks looks upstairs, but there's no purchase there. And all of a sudden that opens the door for Tristan McGraw to look to the inside. Backs out of it as the 14 machine stays upstairs in 3 and 4. 2 to run this time past the stripe. And Smith not closing the gap at the moment, probably happy to consolidate for second. It's been a good heat race for Smith. He's moved forward a couple of spots as Condor now looks to the inside. A Wicks down the back straight away. Be a lap to run next time by Liam, and Pimenta just doing everything he's got to do right at the moment.
Yeah, he's just stepping away, isn't he? Pimenta doing everything right. David Smith trying to go with him. Lucas Conda fires a big shot on Wicks. It's not to be. Tell you what, Jared, this is the best drive I've seen from young Tristan as well. It's really up and about at the wheel of the 38. Having a big pedal, but it's not going to bother this guy. Rocket Rodney Pimenta wins heat race number 2 with the national title from David Smith, Wade McCarthy, Tristan McGraw. It's a battle to the line with Lucas Conda and Michael Wicks. You'll be able to confirm that upstairs for me before.
Yeah, Condor just getting home in front of Michael Wicks for 5th spot, but what a drive for Rodney Pimenta. When you start from pole in a national title, you've got to convert that to a heat race win. The man from just west of Toowoomba gets the job done in heat race number 2. I'm going to chat to Rocket Rodney Pimenta. Rodney.
Not going to play the game.
He's not. He's the only one that went out sub 21, 29.81 for Rocket Rodney. Smithy with a 21.081, so he wasn't far off it. Wade McCarthy with
back-to-back Australian number 2. He felt, well, he came oh so close at Timmer Speedway in Mildura back in 2012, and then nearly won the National Modified Sedan title at his home track in 2013, a year later. So he's been runner-up twice in this event. And we look a little bit further back in the field, Darren Lester, another Queensland car based out of Brisbane, and the Brisbane Air Conditioning fully promoted Springwood number 59. He's certainly been a contender in these major modified sedan events. Ran second at Cairns Speedway in far north Queensland for the state title last season, and probably was right at the front of the King's Royal a little bit earlier this season as well, as the green flag is at the ready for heat race number 3. Not too far away from getting underway, and Chris Evans setting the agenda early, and I don't think this start will stick as the little Nissan goes about 50 metres early on the line. We'll file into turns 1 and 2 and go yellow, yellow, yellow straight away, and Raymond Usher will take his spot back on the front row, and I'm sure that Chris Evans will cop the wrath of the chief steward in his ear at the moment by the one-way communicator, Liam.
You just about could have bet the house and home on that one that was never going to run its full course.
The Nissan was keen. He was very keen, Chrissy boy. The family watching in trackside here, and his sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Ryan, Harris and Lisa, watching along at home. Would love to be here trackside. But we'll try and fill your boots as best we can this weekend, Ryan, as this looks a little bit better. Green flag at the ready, the Speedway Australia green flag here. And we're underway in heat race number 3 with the National Modified Sedan title. Evans still got a good start and locks it on the bottom, but Usher runs the middle lane through 1 and 2 and is impressive in the VS Commodore as McDonald levels up into turns 3 and 4 the first time. Pratt locked on the bottom as well, with Boyle on the outside of her. Usher just falls back a little bit, and Enbach now looks upstairs into turns 1 and 2.
McDonald is fast already. He's starting to push Evans off to number 2, the much bigger car. The 32 of McDonald goes to work now on the top on the Nissan. But we're back to Usher, who locks it low. Raymond was trying the top side and wasn't able to make it work, but here comes McDonald having a crack around the outside. Boyle goes to work for position number 3 and 4 on the outside. Battle for your lead is 1, 2, 3 deep. McDonald clears into 3 and 4. We have a new heat race leader, and here comes Usher as well, putting work on Evans in the 66.
Yeah, McDonald to the front, and Lindmark Automotive, number 32 out of Queensland. Evans still runs second and is locked down on the bottom. I think that's where the Nissan will stay for the majority of heat race number 3. As Usher looks to the outside again, trying to run that middle lane. Back to Clark, Pratt, Boyle, rounding out your top 6. And then we've got Alan Mortimer from WA in the 74. Darren Lester's come from the back of the field up to position number 8. And works the bottom line in turns 1 and 2, gets some good purchase, and he might knock another one off the list, but Mortimer's going to shut the door. 3-car battle for 4th, 5th and 6th, and another good battle for 7th and 8th as Lester gets through on Mortimer now.
Pratt putting work in on the safescape. Number 8 hammering away at the tail. Here comes Boyle into that battle now too. The top 3 cars start to spread out. Usher not giving up though, trying the different grooves. But right now, Nathan McDonald is just glued down in the Lindmark Automotive, number 32. That battle really heating up is Lenny Clark and Rachel Pratt. Mick Boyle in the all-green 52. It's a cracking battle. They're 3 cars deep. Boyle has a big look on the inside. That's a monster move by Mick Boyle. Rachel Pratt slides up high, and here comes Darren Lester now.
Yeah, very impressive from Boyle as he moves through to P5. Lester on a charge from the back of the bus, and he wants to climb his way onto the back of the top 5 before everything's all said and done in heat race number 3. Be 2 to run for Nathan McDonald past the stripe this time. The Lindmark Automotive, Newtel's Transport, number 32, locked down as it squats in the rear and gets plenty of purchase through 1 and 2. Evans still comfortable in second, back to Usher. Then Lenny Clark and Mick Boyle aren't done with here as Boyle goes to the inside of Lenny Clark. And the green Commodore slide job through and can't quite make the move stick as we're going to bang panels here out of turn 4, and Boyle is copying it left, right and centre. Lenny Clark moves back through to position 4 as Lester goes to the high side. We're on the last lap here through 3 and 4. It's all to play for down the back straightaway, but Nathan McDonald is going to win heat race number 3 comfortably. From Chris Evans back to Usher, it's a drag to the line for 4th. And Lenny Clark just prevails on the outside of Mick Boyle. Darren Lester from the back of the bus up to P6. Rachel Pratt 7th. Mortimer, Jamie Paul, Aaron Bunton round out your top 10. Back to Steve Ellison. Trish Dyke in your 12-car field. How about at Heartland Raceway? He's still undefeated. Liam almost put the mocker on him earlier in the night, but Nathan McDonald wins heat race number 3 in your best presented car. Looks a whole lot better with a heat race win aboard. We're going to take a quick commercial and we'll cross trackside with him right after this.
So he continues the unbeaten run. It's going to sound pretty good here. In the heat race winner goes to Nathan McDonald at the wheel of the Lynn Mac Automotive Q32. Mate, we continue the unbeaten run. You've got to be happy with that, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that, but we've got a long way to go yet, but I couldn't ask for a better start. So we were timing good last night. Car feels great. Heat win to start the night. Yeah, I'm wrapped.
Mate, to be honest, so far you've been the only car that's been able to make that outside groove work as well. Of course, you locked it back down low to finish the heat race. No point running up there for the rest of the heat and leaving that inside lane open. But, mate, you're able to get the pass down the outside on Evans and then tuck it back low. This car can move easily.
Yeah, I knew I was a bit quicker than him, and if I pass, I like to pass cleanly, and I was confident with the car, and yeah, I knew if I can get around him, I can probably do my own line and hold it from there. So big thanks to my sponsors again, Dennis Bullpit, Steering Suspension Warehouse, Linmac Automotive, Butel's Transport, and everyone else that helps out, and all the crew. Family at home, Cerise and kids, thanks for letting me do this. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for your winner in heat race number 3, presented by Midland Contractors. Goes the way of Nathan McDonald in the Q32. He's going to get a photo with his heat race winner board and go back home on the live stream as well. And haven't they, front to back? Of course, we don't get to see the Vic one on the side of the EB Falcon anymore. Of course, he didn't even get to fire a shot at that Victorian title. He was just there crewing for his sister Talia in the Mildura 33. Then it was at the Victorian Modified Sedan title. So he is still the South Australian Modified Sedan champion. Flew the SA flag with honour in our Grand Parade at the start of the night as well.
And interestingly, just quickly, Liam, Andrew Dyke had to perform an engine change overnight in the Victoria number 5, so a little bit of smoke out of that car. Oh, green flag at the ready. We're going to get a quick start here, Liam. We're underway in heat race number 4.
Into 1 and 2 they run. Druitt putting heavy pressure on Hayden Stevenson, but it's still Stevenson down the back straightaway. She was late launch, wasn't exactly ready for it. It's a good thing the field were. Have a look at Todd Atkins go 3 lanes high. Up there is Talia Dolick as well. It's Brad Weeks that runs in 3, but the battle on for the lead. Jake Druitt puts a big speculator on Stevenson for the race lead. Plenty of smoke from the Dyke number 5.
As Druitt goes to the front into 3 and 4, locks it down on the bottom. He got the elbows out and made the move on Stevenson. Stevenson still runs second. We've got 3 E-Series Falcons, 1, 2 and 3 in heat race number 4. Wicks runs third, back to Brad Warren, and look at Jorgensen. Gets some purchase off the bottom, and the little Cortina coming from deep in heat race number 4 will move through to position number 4. And at the moment, it's Victoria, Queensland in heat race number 4. Todd Atkins has had his progress thwarted a little bit on the high side, and he goes back to the bottom to try and clear Mick Shelford in the VL Commodore and can't get anything done. And Shelford may have had a little bit of a bobble there. And Todd Atkins had nowhere to go, Liam. I don't know how you saw that one, but Shelford might have got out of the gas a little bit.
Yeah, it was looking clean at that one.
Plenty of damage on the front of the Todd Atkins car.
Still seems to be rolling okay. Hopefully it's just cosmetic. So 36 was digging on the top. Todd Atkins really going to work at the wheel in the Wadia Works, Adam Holt Industries, and Club 36 Innovations, number 36.
The big crowd here at the venue on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We're about to get back underway for heat race number 4. It's round 1 of heats of the Bendigo Metal Fabrication National Modified Sedan title. The snake leads us back to green, single file past the cone. And Jake Druitt into turns 1 and 2 will lock on the bottom again and drive away from the field. Stevenson second, Wicks third, and Jorgensen looks pacey in the Queensland 25, gives you a little rat-a-tat-tat on the back bumper. Jorgo looks racy in heat race number 4.
Fired up behind the Australian Race and Rally Services, 17 of Brad Wicks. Good to see Brad back at the hammer again. We've missed him out of the modified sedan ranks for too long now, and we see that fresh look E-Falcon putting pressure now on Stevenson for second. Here comes Nick Cockerell by on Jorgo. Puts a big move on Jorgensen. And firing through as well now is the 84 of Brad Warren. That's a big move up the inside of Jorgensen. He's going to put pressure back on the tail of the 84 now. Into 3 and 4 they run. It's still Wicks battling fiercely with Stevenson. Talk about checked out. Jake Druitt has a straightaways lead. Back to the battle for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. They are locked together, Jared.
It's a whole field battle for the minor places as Stevenson probably locked on the bottom and doesn't quite have the pace to go with your leader, obviously. Wicks right up on the back bumper. Cockerell there as well. Brad Warren in the Hayden race cars. Quick Time Automotive number 84 trying to buy in to that 3-car battle for second. Jorgensen's early pace has disappeared now and he's starting to drop back a little bit from Brad Warren as there's smoke from the back of the 84 and the long straights here at Heartland Raceway starting to work the cars over a little bit. We click off another lap. There's 2 to run this time by. Druitt is home and hosed from here surely, Liam.
Here comes Cockerell's Commodore, Jared. There's a bit on the tongue there. Nick Cockerell is pedaling the AC Delco V11 right up behind Wicks and Stevenson. Have a look at this grid. From positions 2 to 6, she is on big time. Stevenson's left the door open. Here comes Wicks. It wasn't enough. Down the back straight and into 3 and 4 for the final time. Just dominates the field. Jake Druitt takes the win in heat race number 4. Wow, look at the battle coming to the line is Stevenson, Wicks from Cockerell. Warren hangs on from Jorgensen. And Jorgensen puts a move on under the yellow. Might have been a bit of a hand in the air at Cockerell there before Shelford, Dolick, Atkins and Gerlach. What a belter of a heat race, Jared.
Yeah, Jorgensen, never one to let his feelings go unheard. Rolls home in 6th spot there just behind Brad Warren as we're going to chat to our South Australian champion. We'll take a quick commercial break for those tuned in at home and Jake Druitt will be in victory lane right after this.
So, folks, put your hands together. The driver of the South Australia number 1 or the V18 this weekend at Heartland Raceway, Moama. This heat race presented by DNC Trade Services. Heat race number 4 goes to Jake Druitt. Jake, you've got to be stoked with that one, mate. You've got no mirror in this thing, but you had sailed away. Well done.
Yeah, pumped as, you know. I used a bit of motivation from last night at the Calcutta. I was a bit dirty that I only went for 250, so going to do everything I can. Just like to thank everyone who's helped me on the car. The old man's put in an absolute bucket ton of work. All the boys in the pits, Trin, Span, Draz, the family on the hill. You know, Eamesy from 4-4 Manufacturing has done a lot of work in the control arms and stuff in this hot rod. You know, it's really good. I love it. And Brock at EWS, you know, shocks are on point. Yeah, just thanks to everyone for coming out who supports modified sedans because this is the best class in Speedway.
Mate, you know you would have gone for a lot more money if you were able to bet on yourself, yeah?
Yeah, nah, I didn't do myself any favours just at 8 practice, so I know why I didn't go for much.
Well done, mate. You take home heat race number 4 presented by DNC Trade Services. Folks, put your hands together for the SA number 1 of Jake Druitt. He gets handed his National Modified Sedan title heat race winner board here at Heartland Raceway Moama, presented by Bendigo Metal Fabrication. That's a cool keepsake that Druitt's going to take home with him, isn't it? You got to keep an eye on his hands in any heat race winner photo you ever grab, by the way. If you reel back through the archives, there's always a sneaky hand out the side of the heat race winner board. Hopefully, he can't reach his hand outside this car for our heat race winner boards. If he manages to get the 61 up there, we're going to stay yellow for one more. It's Daniel Simpson. On the outside is a previous Victorian modified sedan champion and held the Victorian number 1 with pride a few seasons back out of Horsham, Victoria, just down the road. And of course, your pole sitter, the cube, 148 of Brett Barron, You see the 48 on the tail tank. Obviously, quite a few clashes of numbers when the cars travel down from Queensland and into Victoria, and we all have our separate sets of running numbers. So he's piloting the Q148. It almost sounds like a flight number. Qantas number 148. Brett Barron set for a launch coming off turn 3 and 4 for heat race number 5, event 6 in your program. For Rich River Dealers is Simpson and Barron. They battle it out. Wilson is tucked in fierce, as well as Max Clark on row number 2. Here comes Clark up the inside. Wilson around the top, gets muscled by Sean Thompson. And here comes Clark. A big move up the inside. Have a look at this battle. Fierce already. The Glen Warren 148 back into P2 from Simpson, from Sean Thompson, from Darcy Wilson. Reich Nello is in there as well. Here comes Ash Parkinson, and we're going to go yellow with the Hulk, who brings us on the entry to turn number 1. I actually missed what happened with the Hulk 82, Jared. Not sure if you got your eyes on that one.
No, I was doing the Chief Steward thing and looking the other direction. So the Hulk is parked up on the top side of turns 1 and 2 in the AU Falcon.
Now I caught it, he just rolled to a stop. Something mechanicals let go on him. He just rolled to a stop. There was no
Victorian title and the National Street Stock title. That was quite the event to be a part of. And you got anyone like Robbie Foe getting around that place at a tip-in competition is the last thing you need to suggest.
I was going to say we might need the Foe train to come and judge the tip-in competition up at High Tech Oils Toowoomba Speedway. So we're about to go back to green flag racing here in heat race number 5, and Max Clark will lead us past the cone into turns 1 and 2. The Superior Painting 15 gets a good jump and drives away as Brett Barron sits in second, Simpson third. Your top 3 starting to spread a little bit around the racetrack as Clark on the bottom looks good. Barron's a little bit loose off the corner, and Matt Nelson now ranges up onto the back of Darcy Wilson and makes his way a little bit further forwards through the field.
Nello really having a crack. Ash Parkinson, the car looks so slick. There's not a lot going on with just the pink edges, and that car's starting to really put pressure on Swanson in that Wandon Heavy Haulage number 15. Big battle is Nello, Thompson and Darcy Wilson. It's a monster move, and Nello is up to P4. He's up on the wheel of the 61. Cars are bunched together behind him, but Clark and Barron have stepped away. Daniel Simpson going with them as well. Looks like Barron might just be closing the distance from the naked eye, Jared.
Yeah, well, the eye test says yes, and so does the timing as Barron closes a little bit on Max Clark into turns 1 and 2. I said the car was free a couple of laps ago. He's really screwed it on the bottom now and drives it off the corner nice and straight. Look at how straight the car is on turn entry to turn 3, and it's straight off the corner as well. And the cow herder normally has the big Popeye arms out on the hooked up racetracks up in Queensland. Well, he's got the slick setup sorted in the VS Commodore, and he's trying to track down Max Clark, your race leader. Simpson in a race of his own in 3rd, back to Nelson 4th, Darcy Wilson running 5th. Back to Sean Thompson, then Chris Reich under big pressure from Parkinson. As we start to wind through the laps, there's 4 to run in this one, Liam.
Yeah, that Victory Lane race gear, V88 is peppering the tail. Those cars, Avalon race cars, and they know each other well and race each other really respectfully. Clark continues to hold sway over Barron. And Daniel Simpson is half a straightaway back, as is Nello. Darcy Wilson starting to really put some fast laps together too. That True Design Homes Ballarat number 5 closing down on the Hayden race cars, 61. Not too far away from the checkers here, and the 2 out in front just continue to hold their ground. Barron not being able to close the gap enough to really pepper Clark since the opening lap. His laps wind down, white flag at the ready next time by, Jared.
Yeah, Barron closing here. He may not have any time though to make a move on Max Clark, hailing from Grafton in the number 15. As the white flag is out, it'll be certainly confidence boosting though for the whole Glen Warren Charolais team. Their slick track package hasn't quite been where it's needed to be in the past couple of seasons, but Barron has looked good in this one. Take nothing away though from your former national champion He went from the C to the B to the A to win his national title. He doesn't have to do it that difficult in heat race number 5, and he gets the win. Ahead of Brett Barrett, Daniel Simpson home in 3rd. Nelson 4th, back to Wilson, Thompson, Chris Reich, Ash Parkinson up to P8. Swanson, Fitzpatrick and Shortest go the distance. Roy Croft finished on the hook on the infield, and your winner, Max Clark, did that one, not in a canter, but he was pretty comfortable out the front in the VF Commodore. The Superior Painting Machine will roll into victory lane, and he'll chat with Liam right after we pay a couple more bills.
So we'll just unstrap the safety gear, the race quip helmet there. Wiblin Performance Exhaust on the side, MMC Consulting International, Superior Painting, Global Lubricant Distributors. Of course, a shout out to Rich River Dealers who sponsor modified sedans. Heat race number 5, 10 laps in the books. Heartland Raceway Moama. Put your hands together for the winner of heat race number 5, Max Clark. Listen to the applause, mate. They're pretty stoked for you to get up and about there, and everyone will be back at home on the live stream as well. Mate, you did everything right there. We're able to hold off Barron for 2nd place and just look comfortable out in front.
Yeah, no, car felt pretty good. We'll give it a tweak up. 10 laps is a long way around this big track, but no, it should be right. Car felt good. We had to capitalise on that. That's our best heat all weekend, so we'll move on from here.
Max, who have you got to thank, mate? Who's crewing for you down here this weekend?
I got my partner, kids especially. They had to put up with a 15-hour drive. Dad's come down to give me a hand, and my brother at home. We got the motor together 2 weeks ago, and everyone else who gives a hand.
Max, you've pretty much set up the best possible run for yourself. Won the first heat race. We move on to the second, and hopefully you can move up then as well.
Yeah, we've got an early rear next one, so hopefully we can move forward and keep going from there.
Keep your eyes later on in the night at the 15. Folks, put your hands together for Max Clark, who gets the job done in heat race number 5, proudly presented by Rich River Dealers. And of course, Brooke carries around Hayden's baby these days. I'm sure that's not too far away before Brooke's able to get behind the wheel once more. I'm sure she's itching for that just as much as the arrival of young Hayden. We're almost set for a start. The Kev Young 71 gets pushed right to the infield. Lights are out for heat race number 6, proudly presented by Royal Precision Lubricants, lubricating Heartland Raceway for heat race number 6. It's a good launch by the Benz. You're never going to catch that car off the line. Tell you who's having a good crack though is Brock Atkins. Wow, how's that for a turn 1? They just parked her up on the curb.
Oh!
Massively. 3 or 4 cars jumped the curb into turn 1. They were all fighting for the same amount of real estate. Brock Atkins had a monster drive on entry. And then it was Marty Horson that gets tangled, as does the 72, the other 72 that is, of Scott Angus. So Scott Angus in the VA72 and Marty Horson in the orange and white V72. Brock Atkins, I think, will just get a check over here on the infield. He was resist. And the communications are a little crackly sometimes, and potentially on that back straightaway as well. They're a long ways from the actual communicating device that officials are using.
And sometimes the drivers just choose to not listen to them as much as they should be, Liam.
It's more often than not. You can blame a battery. You can always blame a flat battery. But, oh, I didn't hear that, officer.
Exactly. As we're set to go back underway here in heat race number 6, a complete restart here. And Atkins looks to the inside of Murphy again. We'll see if we can get through turns 1 and 2. Looks as though Angus tried to make it work, and we're going to go around in turns 1 and 2 again. And Casey Garlick facing the wrong way. Tim Atkin into the door, and Horson and Angus parked again in turns 1 and 2. And this one taking a little bit to get underway here in heat race number 6, Liam.
And that board doesn't quite block it there in turn 1 or on your main straightaway. The sun is beating down on that corner too. So whether that's
sweet for $20. Benny was quite happy to pay the money though. He's put a lot of time into modified production over the years, Russell Ben.
Yes, I'm confirming the tie rod hanging down on the Marty Horson 72. Jared picked it. And now the other Jared Waters, set for a start with Casey Garlick. Liam Murphy pushing the bends, and here comes Brock Atkins up the inside. That's a better opening turn. You'd think the officials would have waved a very big hand down that receiver and made sure that this start was set for a good one. Liam Murphy settles into P3 and backs the 97 in. It's a big unload by Liam Murphy, and he keeps it going. Bit of precision driving by Murphy as Atkins and Waters go to work at the front, Jared.
Yes, Waters hasn't quite slipped away from Brock Atkins as Murphy's going to pull it to the inside of turn 4, and he may not be far enough from the racing surface. And we'll get the amber light here at Heartland Raceway. And that'll give Brock Atkins the little tow hook onto the back of the Mercedes, and we'll wait and see what the big FGX Falcon has got for the Merc.
Waters from Atkins, from Nicolaisen, Atkin, and Young's back in this one as well. Angus, bit of a push, and Brodie Christie at the tail. And it's just a rip-in launch by Jared Waters. And now we look at the battle at the front. What has Atkins got for Waters? Atkin in this battle as well, not to be confused. Tim Atkin and Brock Atkins. And Nicolaisen separates them. So the Mercedes-Benz Ed, the 92 of Jared, continues as the sun sets over Heartland Raceway, Moama. It's a bit of a cleaner race starting to unfold now. Christie has a big look at Angus up the inside and finds a heap of curb. Still not able to move forward is Brodie Christie, but Jared Waters continues to step away.
Still locked down on the bottom at the moment in heat race number 6, and the Mercedes C350 starting to gap Brock Atkins, who runs second in the Victoria number 0. Atkins locked on the bottom as well. Nick Eliasson and Tim Atkin running 3rd and 4th respectively. Back to Kev Young, the EL Falcon out of Queensland. Christie up to P6, and probably by fortune rather than passing manoeuvres at the moment, as we've dropped a few in heat number 6. Christie trying to range up onto the back of Kevy Young and the 71 machine as Waters rolls another lap. And the Mercedes has got plenty of mumbo in a straight line. It stands up on the back tyres like a top fuel dragster down the main straightaway, Liam.
Yeah, he's always able to hook up the rear end of this 92. They've got a fairly sublime motor package under this Mercedes as well. I know the boys have worked really hard on this one, and they're pretty proud of the little package they've put together in the modified sedan. Of course, Cameron Waters driving for Trav Shaw, a former national modified sedan title, and Jarrett doing everything he can to put the first foot forward in this national modified sedan title. Driving for NZ Mildura and Adam Holt Industries down the side. Brock Atkins hasn't got anything for Waters thus far. It's Nicolaisen in position number 3. Before Atkin, Young, Christie and Angus at the tail. Christie looks fast, but he's just not able to use up that track position to his advantage, Jared.
And he's ranging up onto the back of Kevy Young again here. Just gets the right front guard to the inside, but Kevy Young shuts the door. Christie can't make it stick on the bottom, and Kevy Young drives back around the outside. So we start to draw to a close in heat race number 6. White flag comes out, and the Melbourne Performance Centre bullet in the front rails of the Mercedes C350 has got plenty of mumbo, and Jared Waters is getting it all to the ground at the moment. He streaks away down the back straightaway, and you're seeing why he went for $1,450 at the Calcutta last night. Jared Waters and the NZ Mercedes will get the win in heat race number 6. Atkins home in second in the ESS V0. Back to Nick Eliasson in third, Tim Atkin fourth, Kevy Young in fifth. Christie and Scott Angus round out your finishes, as Murphy, Garlick, Hawson and Karen Ferguson didn't go the distance. Jared Waters and a dominant display from the front row will roll the Mercedes into victory lane. I don't get to say that too often around a speedway. He'll chat with Liam right after this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, at Heartland Raceway Moama, proudly presented by Royal Precision Lubricants, winning heat race number 6. Put your hands together, Jared Waters at the Mildura 92. J-Rod, you've got to be stoked with that one, mate. You had it absolutely belted. And the most expensive driver of the weekend's a nice one.
Thanks, buddy. I think I had to win that one from the front. Be pretty worried if I couldn't. So we got to bank as many points as we can here. So car felt good.
It took a fair bit of time for you to be able to get the start going. There was a lot of cars getting tangled further in behind you. Did it put the blinders on. You just had to move forward, keep your head down, and not let any of that stuff in behind you affect you.
No, you can't worry about that stuff. Like, it was pretty good when we got the single file restart and when you were on then, so it was pretty good.
Mate, this thing is belter fast. I wouldn't change a thing, Harry. Keep her exactly as she is. Good luck for the rest of the heat races tonight, Jared. I'm sure this thing will be looking forward to the front.
Thanks, buddy. It's hard to know how far behind they are. Do you have much of a gap?
Yeah, much of a gap. It was Brock Atkins in behind you, mate, and he was pretty well struggling to match the pace of this thing. He looked good, but just didn't have the tail legs that this thing had.
Sweet. We're up soon, so I better get going, mate.
Good luck later on in the night, folks. Put your hands together. He's going to get his heat race win aboard in a quick photo.
Right, got them all organised, ready to roll. The Super Rods. On their tour, they tell me that the Super Rod Tour, the 21-22 Super Rod Tour, is here at Heartland Raceway. I suppose they call it a tour coming from up Warrnambool all the way up here to Heartland. The green flag at the ready. And racing, and the 97 car gets a good start. Sean Walsh leads them away from May in the 8 car, Jamie May. He may or may not get there, but he's going to try. Down the back straight, Jamie May, Dane Court in the 96 car, the little Ford Prefect. We used to call them defects when I was a kid. But comes around Mays, having a look up the inside now. The 97 car, big drop. Just sets it in nicely, and Sean Welsh will hang on. 21.271's their time, so Modified's actually lapping quicker than the Super Rod. So that gives you an indication of how well the Modifieds handle at the moment, because these are sprint car chassis, although these boys don't do a lot of racing up here. As it's still Sean Walsh from Jamie May, Dane Court, Stan Marco Jr. back to Rod Smith. Jason Kavanagh having trouble. He's at the back of the pack now. He's gone all the way to the back of the bus. Jason Kavanagh, and he won the last heat, and here he is at the back. The 97 car of Walsh. Still hanging on, Jamie May, Dane Court. Stan Marco Jr. having a bit of a look now at Dane Court, but they string themselves out down the back straight, box it up when they come into the corner again. Our leader, Sean Walsh, so he's fairly comfortable at the moment. Pushing the track the other way, beautiful for the Modifieds. This makes a big difference to the way the track performs. Jason Kavanagh starting to make a bit ground up now. As Kavanagh left the back of the bus, he's left the 84 car back there of Paul Verhoeven. Down the back as another lap gets put on the board for Sean Welsh. Kavanagh now has closed right up on the tail there of the 31 car of Rod Smith. Rod Smith goes out a little bit wide. Kavanagh has a look. Oh, a bit of tyre contact there. You can't afford to do that in these open wheel classes. Tends to send you airborne fairly quickly. Marco Jr. now on the back of the 96 car of Dane Court. Closes the gap right up, puts the nose in, has a bit of a look there as Kavanagh doing the same thing to the 31 car of Rod Smith. Our leader's still pretty comfortable. They've paired themselves off at the moment. But out in front, May still hot on his tail. They come round one to go in this race as Marco up the inside. Marco gets the nose in. There's a contact and around they go. And Marco put the nose in there. They come onto each other and we go yellow. Do we go yellow? We do. So Marco and Dane Court. Marco put the nose in. I don't know whether he was up far enough. They'll let the steward sort that one out. But Shane Marco put the nose in. For any of you who's looking to see where Russell Pent is, he did have the loudest shirt in the complex on, but he's taken it off. He's not listening to me.
And we are set for a start for heat race number 7. The Speedway Australia rising star Alex Sweeney on pole position. Inside tyre Galley in the N0. It's an even launch, but it's Galley that leads into 1 and 2. The sun's setting on Heartland Raceway, Moama. It's picturesque looking into turn 1. Wade McCarthy takes into 3. Lockie Fitzpatrick up to 4. Have a look at the battle around the top side. It's Chris Hayden and Daniel Simpson battle away. Sean Thompson locked to the bottom. And Tangles having a look on the top side as well. Sweeney starts to battle away with Galley. But it's Galley that leads down the back straightaway in the 00 on the door, or the N0 in your program. Wade McCarthy tries to tuck in as well. The racing line is glued to the bottom right now.
Yeah, impressive start from Galley. Got the jump and locked the car down around the outside of Alex Sweeney. And once he got to the bottom, he's making every poster winner from there. Galley on the bottom, Sweeney behind him. McCarthy runs third. Fitzpatrick fourth under a little bit of pressure from Simpson now. Back. We go through the field as I just pause for a moment. The top five really starting to close up. Redcliffe still runs six, and he's got Chris Hayden behind him, but the front five have slipped away. Look at Daniel Simpson start to work to the inside of Fitzpatrick, and the Victoria number 33 trying to make some headway here into the top five. We're all bunched up here, set for a grandstand finish in this one. Sweeney now to the back bumper at Galley, and we've got a race on in heat race number 7.
Sweeney certainly has the feet to dance with Galley. Into 3 and 4 they run. When Alex Sweeney puts a few good laps together, he really tucks the nose in on the N0. Wade McCarthy locking Fitzpatrick, and Daniel Simpson is an epic top 5 battle before Chris Hayden goes to work on Redcliffe. Redcliffe the slower car in that battle, and Hayden not able to find a way past. Have a look at your top 5 bunching together again. Galley's been relatively unfazed by all of this. If the 4 behind him continue to battle, he'll be in clean air, as the N0 has a big deep breath of smoke and continues to punch turn number 2.
Yeah, the Toyota Lexus still leading the way, and he's just starting to gap Sweeney again. McCarthy starting to range up onto the back of your second place runner. It's the New South Wales registered car leading back to Queensland, and Victoria then from 3rd, 4th and 5th. McCarthy and Simpson looking handy. Simpson's been the quickest car in the heat race, I dare say. In heat number 7, as Simpson levels up with McCarthy into 3 and 4. McCarthy squeezes him onto the inside concrete curb. Simpson hooks up the left front of the curb and tries to get some drive off. There's 2 to run in heat race number 7. Galley's got him swarming behind him. Sweeney second is just trying to hold on at the moment. He's probably out of the chance of a win, but Sweeney trying to keep his silver medal spot as McCarthy rages up onto the back bumper again, and the white flag comes out, Liam.
Yeah, the bright yellow and blue Falcon tucked in tight behind the Commodore of Sweeney. Wow, Redcliffe slides onto the infield and gets unstuck in the 28. Wonder if we're going to go yellow or not. Checkered flag is still at the ready with Galley. We're going to finish that way. Ty Galley will get the job done over Alex Sweeney, Wade McCarthy, Daniel Simpson, Lockie Fitzpatrick. And it's a bit of a gaggle at the tail. It's Chris Hayden, the next car through, and Race Monitor will confirm the last few, with Tangle's Sean Thompson and Talia Dolick crossing the line relatively side by side. Ty Galley's going to pull to the infield. We'll have a quick chat from our sponsors on the live stream, and we'll have a chat with Ty right here on our main straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not quite sure you'd find a more ecstatic bloke on the infield right now. Put your hands together for the N number 0 of Ty Galley. Ty, mate, you've got to be pumped with that one. I know you are. You've really earned this one. The Lexon's up the front, brother.
Mate, the Lexon, she's on fire. I was just trying to wheel it as straight as I possibly can, not get too nervous, keep a level head, but just trying to do the Wagga Speedway Club proud, and the 00 is absolutely on rails.
Mate, fired the perfect shot there. Sweeney wasn't able to really answer for you. He showed the nose a few times there in the Commodore, but this thing was on rails on the bottom. Those boys in behind you were having a bit of a battle, but no one matched the speed of the 0, mate.
Hey, credit where credit's due. The young fella, he's an absolute gun wheeler. Just had a little bit more off the line and managed to get in front of him, and I knew he was going to be there the whole time, so I just had to keep it in line and hug that pole line.
Who have you got to thank, mate? I love seeing the Palmer on the front of this thing too for the Ready Pub. That's a cool one.
Yeah, Palmer from a Ready Pub never goes astray. HSV, Wise Steel Sales and Fabrication in Pakenham, they are top-notch. TGM Race Engines keeping this thing going. Tritech Lubricants, Ramsdale Wreckers, all those boys, they keep us going. And McClure Fiberglass for making sure this thing can flex and not break.
Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise, winning heat race number 7, Proudly presented by H&V Pierce Engine Reconditioners.
Atkins, Mick Johnson and Dale Hallett, your second row. Karen Ferguson not out there, so it'll be Lenny Clark and Corey Knox. Back to Casey Garlick, Mick Boyle, Jared Waters and David Smith at the back of the bus here. Quick dispatch in heat race number 8. What has Waters got from the back of the bus? We go green here with 10 laps on the counter. Elbows up in 1 and 2. Look at Pratt feed it to Brock Atkins. Atkins switches back to the inside and watch the elbows come out in 3 and 4. The Victoria number 0 locked on the bottom to the inside of Pratt. Mick Johnson wants to come through 2 and we're 1 lap in, 9 to run.
I love that from Pratt. That was a cracking move, taking no prisoners on Brock Atkins. Brock eventually gets the job done in the P number 0, but cracking move by Rachel Pratt, taking no prisoners. She sits in second place from Johnson in third. Dale Hallett up to 5, and here he is already. Jared Waters in the Mercedes-Benz is up to position number 5. From 10th on the grid, he's up 5 spots, and the Benz continues to pull away.
Top drive from Waters. He's made early progress here, and we'll keep our eyes on the Mercedes. In position number 5 is Hallett's the next car, and Hallett was very competitive in his first heat race a little bit earlier on before striking dramas. So it's Atkins from Pratt, they're your front 2, and a little bit of a gap back to Mick Johnson from Broome in far northwestern Australia. Runs in position 3 in the number 32, and he's under pressure from Hallett. It's a 3-car battle for the last step on the podium in heat race number 8. Corey Knox leads the rest of the field as Lenny Clark and Casey Garlick start to range up onto the back of him, but on screen and for everyone tuned in at home, it's the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Johnson, Hallett and Waters looking racy up the inside here, Liam.
Big late corner charge by Waters on Hallett. Just shifts Hallett up track, and Waters sits back in and lets him have the move back. That's a clean race by Waters, just stepped in a little bit too hard, and Hallett continues in that 4th spot. Now Waters puts the charge back on. Coming off at turn number 4 as the laps wind down. Big late straightaway charge again by Waters. Bit of a push, nothing in it. Waters up to position number 4 now from P10. Still Johnson in 3rd from Pratt, and Atkins looks superb out in front. Winding the laps away as he rolls through turns 1 and 2. The Wadea Works Club 36 Innovations and Wandon Heavy Haulage number 0. Hauling the mail right now. Comes off turn 4, Jared.
He's looking mighty impressive out the front here, Liam. Atkins with 2 to run this time by. Into 1 and 2, and the car probably has a little bit more angle on it than we usually see from Brock, as there's a move on here for position 3. Waters to the inside of Mick Johnson, and he was keen in the Mercedes. He moves through to 3rd as the white flag is set to come out. You've really got to place yourself in the top 3 in these heat races with the way the point structure is. For the Sedan national titles, it's 36, 28 and then 23 points for the top 3, and it's basically a pittance from then on back. And Waters has done everything he's needed to in heat race number 8. He's gone from the back to 3rd. But take nothing away from your winner, Brock Atkins. Dominant in heat race number 8. The EWS Victoria 0 gets the win in heat race number 8. Pratt home in 2nd in a good drive. Waters runs 3rd. Back to Mick Johnson 4th. Lenny Clark and Dale Hallett 5th and 6th. Garlick, David Smith and Mick Boyle rounding out your finishers. Corey Knox on the infield on the back straightaway there. We're going to see the King's Royal Champion and the new owner of EWS roll into victory lane here. He'll chat with Liam right after this commercial break.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as he turns the motor off for this bad fast number 0, driving for Elite Shock Services and Wandon Heavy Haulage. You've got to be happy with that one. Brock Atkins gets the job done here in heat race number 8, presented by Bell Distributions. Brock, you've got to be stoked with that one, mate. Rachel put a pretty good move back by on you, a bit of a door panel bang on the way through. She had her elbows up, but, mate, you got the job done.
Yeah, Rachel's always got her elbows up, so that's cool. We got back by her, and I feel like we've got a pretty good piece. So thanks to everyone for busting their butt just then. We had a mad turnaround after that first heat. It felt like we were only in the pits for 3 minutes, and we had a few little problems. The thing wouldn't start. So, yeah, thanks to all the crew. Thanks to the sponsors of the event, Lucas Roberts for sponsoring the title, and yeah, the whole Roberts family for putting on the event. Thanks to the SSA crew, all the volunteers, all my personal sponsors, Wandon Heavy Haulage, Adam Holt Industries, Elite Shock Services, DC and TM Auto LX, Low and Steel Construction, and Hayward Hydraulics for making some power steering lines for me during the week. That was much appreciated. Yeah, everyone on the car, and yeah, definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you.
Brock, in possibly your biggest season so far, take out the King's Royal, what would winning this event mean to you?
Yeah, it would be unreal. Like, yeah, I've done it in junior cars, but it's not the same. You know, it's the pinnacle of the sport, and I feel like modifieds are probably one of the most competitive SSA divisions at the minute. So I think if you're to win this, you've definitely deserved it.
Congratulations on the heat race win, mate. We look forward to seeing you for the rest of the night.
No worries, thanks, mate.
Very well spoken, isn't he? Brock Atkins.
Just to see what's under the right rear tyre. Leicester. Family friends with the Walters family, but there's no friends on the racetrack, and he'll be looking to dive to the bottom in 1 and 2 and not open up a lane for Kai Walters. We'll wait and see who gets the better of the jump here, as Brodie Christie running Walters a little bit wide in 3 and 4, and we're going to go green here in heat race number 9. And it's Christie and Walters side by side into 1 and 2. Leicester blows it in 3rd and will lock it on the bottom. Walters can't quite make the top work, and Christie will get to the front down the back straight away. Walters just gets to the bottom and closes the door on Leicester, as we're going to knock a lap off the counter, and Christie leads from Walters and Leicester. Miller under big pressure from Druitt here, and it's a hornet's nest for 4th on Backlam.
That's a drive we're more used to seeing from Brodie Christie as he leads event number 11 in that Alexandra number 32 from Kai Walters by barely a bumper separating the pair. Back to Darren Lester, Jake Druitt in the SA number 1 from Damien Miller, Alan Mortimer out of WA. That's so cool to see Alan bringing the car over the country. Stevenson, Parkinson. The battle back at the front is still locked solid.
Hayden Stevenson to the inside of Mortimer down the main straightaway, and that'll put him into position number 6. Brad Warren to the inside of Parkinson as Parko and the XF just gets a little shuffle to the high side in turn 2. That time by in 3 and 4, Kai Walters tried the middle lane to see if there was any extra purchase there, as Miller is out of noise and rolling to the infield. The Victoria 6 machine. Heartbreak there for Miller, who's running strongly in the mid-pack and won't go any further here in heat race number 9 as Kai Walters ranges up onto the back of Brodie Christie, and here comes Jake Druitt onto the back of Darren Lester. It's going to be a 4-car go for the podium.
And Jake Druitt knows what it means to win a title. He's got a number of state titles on the team of that 18. He currently runs the SA number 1 on the door panel for Elite Shock Services and the Ready Pub Mildura. He's closing that gap substantially now to the top 3 battle for the lead. Here comes Druitt in a big way. Walters has just sat pleasantly behind Christie from Darren Lester, who will always drive Kai pretty cleanly as well. He sits in 3rd and doesn't really have the speed to shuffle the lead at the moment, but the car who might is Jake Druitt.
And Jake won't sit there for too long. There's 3 to run in this heat race. Walters on the back bumper of Christie, and that's where he's been for the whole 7 laps so far. Gives him a little nudge again. Walters is perfect mid-corner, but when he gets too close to the back bumper, has to prop the car and can't drive off the corner straight. This is the best look we've seen from Kai Walters yet. Front left up on the berm, and he gets alongside Walters to the inside. Christie just closes the door into 3 and 4. White flag comes out, there's 1 to run.
How's this for a last lap charge from Walters. Can he poke the nose in there again? Have a look, he does. Not quite coming off turn 2. Into 3 and 4 for the final time this heat race. Has Walters got anything for Christie? Has a big look, not going to be enough. Brodie Christie takes home event number 11. In heat race number 9, Kai Walters second, Darren Lester third, Jake Druitt from Hayden Stevenson, Alan Mortimer, Brad Warren, Raymond Usher, Liam Murphy with the rear bumper adrift on the 97 from Ash Parkinson and Kev Young. Ladies and gentlemen, did everything right from the front row of the grid in event number 11, heat race number 9, proudly presented by Bendigo Metal Fabrications. Brodie Christie gets the job done. So, ladies and gentlemen, taking out event number 11, heat race number 9. He'd be absolutely stoked with this effort, driving for Create Building Co., driving the V32, Brodie Christie. Brodie, man, you did everything right. You're able to hold out the national champion as well and looked good doing it.
Yeah, look, we just ripped the diff out of the car in that last heat. We've got bolts holding this thing in. We didn't set it up, so we just had to go out there. I knew Kai was going to be on, so to get the win over someone of his calibre on that sort of track, we're happy. I know he was there. He said the other week he was going to make known. So I think we've got a bit of sorting out to do if we end up on this track with him, but I look forward to meeting him again.
Mate, you've probably put the most amount of laps of nearly anyone in the field alongside Kai as well. You're able to run side by side with him pretty well all season long, so it's a good time to finally edge him out in this one, where it counts especially.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you can run door to door with people like him, Brock, you know, etc. in this series, not touch panels, you know, race hard. So for me, doing that shit week in, week out, I love it. You know, I love racing with them boys, love racing here. I'm glad to be here.
Mate, I know this one means so much to you. Who have you got to thank on the crew? This is a really cool effort for you guys to take the heat race win here at the National.
Yeah, I got to thank my old man. He busts his balls. Building Co., Perry Family Farms, Electronic Automotive, Elite Shock Services Australia, Fallon's Bus Services. There's so many. I've probably missed someone, but honestly, without you guys, I wouldn't be sitting here doing what I love. So I really appreciate it.
Well done, Brodie. We'll grab a quick photo with your heat race win aboard for the national title. That's a really well-earned effort, too. That's such a family effort.
In the Queensland number 1, 54 on the roof in the VL Commodore for Pro 1 race parts. And alongside him, with all of those dramas sorted from their first heat race, will be Shane Roycroft in the Victoria 82. Tim Atkin will round out the field here. 9 cars to start. Mark Carlin has not made it out either. So the Nissan 300 ZX not making it out for heat race number 10. No Carlin, no Raymond. Wide open heat race here in heat number 10, and we're green here at Heartland Raceway. Shortest gets a good jump and goes to the bottom as Uran may get shuffled out here with 3 wide. Look at Darcy Wilson on the bottom. Gets the drive down the back straight away. And the Victoria 5 looks like a rocket ship right now, Liam.
That True Design Homes number 5 is a bullet. Darcy, in only really his second season at the wheel of the modified sedan, showing the senior boys of the class how it's done. That's a monster move up in front. He's got Barron now to deal with. Those two start to step out in front. There's Scott Angus up to 3. Shortest is back to 4 before Shelford Atkin. Oh, the right front wheels caved in on the shortest 55. You might have a better shot of it. It might be tucked too close to the fence. But the sound just echoed through this place as that right front corner caved in on the 55. Something just collapsed in that car on entry. And it sits very heavy on that right front corner now, Jared.
Yeah, the right front pointing at all sorts of awful angles at the moment. Unfortunately for the 55 of shortest, and he will go no further in heat race number 10.
That's an embarrassment now.
I think that's called the commentator's curse, Maury.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All set to go back underway here, Liam. Barron, Wilson will go at it again for the front. And Angus is right in there in position number 3. Shelford will be hard to beat here from position number 4 as well. He's looking racy, the Queensland champion, and we're back green here.
So what has Wilson got for Barron now? That 148 is locked solid out in front. Shelford trying the outer groove. Atkin on the bottom. Here comes the Hulk as well. What has Scotty Angus got for this field? He never really got a chance in the opening heat race to stretch the legs. He was pretty tangled up in the dust of other cars. Shelford unsteady on the top side. Darcy Wilson locked in behind Barron. What has this True Design Homes number 5 got for the leader?
Wilson looking impressive, although Barron is nice and square at the front. He had a second place in his opening heat race, and this will match him for top points if he can get the win in heat race number 11. I went one early. Heat race number 10 is Barron looking good at the front. Tim Atkin putting some pressure on your third place runner. As they work into 3 and 4 here, Liam. Barron hasn't pulled away here from Darcy Wilson, but Wilson will have to get the front bumper into action if he's going to make a move on Barron at the moment.
And Atkin is at the wheel of probably the best looking car on this racetrack right now. They've just done a belting job of cleaning that thing up in between heat races. They might have had that little bit more time than any of the other cars, and they've tyre shined that thing up beautifully. The Atkin number 23. The battle continues out in front. Has Wilson got the legs for Barron? They are neck and neck down the back straightaway. Here in heat race number 10, proudly presented by Allstone Quarries. Barron continues to lead off of turn 4. Wilson is tucked in behind. Then we're back to Scotty Angus, Tim Atkin, the Hulk in the AU Falcon, back to Shelford. Uran rounds out the field with the 37 of Trish Dyke running right through the middle as well.
Impressive stuff from Barron out the front here. Starting to wind through the laps. There's 2 to run. And the 148, that beautiful white VS Commodore, is looking a picture out at the front at the moment. Angus still under big pressure from Tim Atkin. And the J&B Pest Control, number 23, hailing out of Mackay in central Queensland. Another look for Tim Atkin on the inside, and he's going to level up with the 72 of Angus, but Angus tries to drive back around the outside. Tim Atkin, ever the gentleman racer, doesn't get in the door too hard, and that may be his last chance to get on the podium here in heat race number 10 as Brett Barron is going to come through 3 and 4 for the final time, and the cowherder from Kingaroy gets the win in heat race number 10 and will go top of the points here at Heartland Moama Raceway. Darcy Wilson home in second. A good drive from Scott Angus to hang on to third. Tim Atkin and Roycroft rounding out your top 5. Back to Shelford. Trish Dyke, Robert Uren. You're only of the 8 cars going the distance. Brett Barron coming to the victory lane, and we'll chat with him after we pay a couple more bills with these commercials. There'll be plenty of cowherder fans on the live stream at home. And if you're a Queenslander here at the venue, make some noise for Brett Barron.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, getting the job done for Allstone Quarries in modified sedans. Heat race number 10, driving the 148, Brett Barron. Brett, how good is this to get the job done here in heat race number 10 and now go highest points as well as you head into round 2 on the heats?
Oh, mate, yeah, no, it's good. I made a few changes after that last heat, and yeah, no, it seems like the car's pretty good now.
Yeah, I think you might have just got it sorted out, mate. You're able to hold out Darcy Wilson there in second. He had a pretty good run with you for 3/4 of the race. You're able to edge him out over the final bit and get about half a straightaways on him, though, but this car is bad fast in a straight line and you wheeled it perfectly.
Yeah, mate, and we just got to, like any Aussie title, we just got to stay out of trouble.
That's the one. You head into the second round, highest on points. Hopefully you can continue that run into round number 3. Who have you got to thank?
No worries. Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, Tommy, and everyone at home that couldn't make it down, and yeah, good old petrol prices.
I'm sure they'll all be on the live stream. We'll get a quick photo with your heat race winner board for the national title. Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for the driver of the 148, Brett Barron. For Matt Nelson, he recently competed in the SSA Production Sedan Victorian title as well at Western Speedway Hamilton. There's a lot of cars in that Waste and Oil Nello Racing stable. They compete in a lot of sedan classes. And this week it's Nello at the wheel of the modified sedan. Set for a start. It's Paul and Swanson that greet the green. Nello with a good launch. Nicolaisen pushes him through. And Nello leads into turn 1. Matt Nelson goes to work now down the back straightaway. It's carnage. Absolute carnage. Nathan McDonald's involved. Paul is involved. Angus is there as well, and I think Westy might have just missed it. Cars went everywhere, Jared. It was bedlam down that back straightaway.
Yeah, chaos there. Plenty of cars involved. Westy to the infield. The Nissan 300ZX of Chris Evans is out. It looks as though Nathan McDonald has got big damage to the 32. Both the left side wheels pushed in on that car. Jamie Paul with panel damage on the back bumper of that as well. It was just a case of 3 or 4 cars into one. Wasn't going to fit.
And Westy gets the AOK as well, which is good news.
Plenty of fired-up drivers out there, I would imagine, at the moment, Liam.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. The Nissan just looks very sad right now, doesn't it? Not ideal. Paul pulls in as well. Set for a start. Green flag at the ready. It's Paul and Swanson from Nello and McDonald. It's a good green. Nello is just epic quick off the line. Doesn't get quite as good a launch. Paul runs high. There's another car going to bring us under yellow. Might be Conda. I think it will be the V9 of Lucas Conda. And there is no tyre left on the Nathan McDonald 32. That left front is caved in.
Oh no. So one of our round one winners parked up at the end of the back straightaway, and apologies for those watching at home there. Just fixed a little technical glitch for those that were trying to check out the replay, that initial incident, and unfortunately the Linmac Automotive 32 parked up on the entry to turn 3 and Condor against the fence in the middle of turns 1 and 2. We had a couple of heat races like this in the first round, Liam, where just couldn't quite get them going.
So we're set for another start. Hopefully this one can get us in the books for heat race number 11, presented by DNC Trade Services. It's Jamie Paul and Zach Swanson on your front row. Set for another start. That's a better one so far. They're all tucked in lane. Nicolaisen having a big charge up the inside as Max Clark in there as well. Marty Horson around the top. Trying to drive Nicolaisen to the bottom. Marty a big pedal. Marty's going to get turned. And Westy just misses that as well. We're going to go yellow again.
Wow.
Narrow, wasn't it, for Westy?
Oh, and patience ran out there. Martin Horson and Nicolaisen weren't going to let each other get away with that. That's plenty of guys high up in the points already in heat race number 11 as we get back underway, and it's Paul and Swanson who greet the green flag side by side, and Swanson tries to close the door. Can't quite do it, but look at Nello on the bottom in the 61. Goes through to position number 2, Liam.
I'm already worried we're going to have one of these heat race winner photos. It's just dawned on me. I can already see it now. Cars are tangled in the tail, and Nello is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He sets his sights on Zach Swanson, and he's one step closer to the hand hanging out the bottom of the heat race winner board. He charges behind Swanson. He continues to hold the lead. Picks up some speed now off the corner. He's got the 15 settled, Jared.
Yeah, the 15 looks really good out the front at the moment. And Martin Horson struggling a little bit with forward momentum further back in the pack. And Westy made the outside work. And now Max Clark from Grafton in the number 15. He tries to make it work as well, as Horson is under siege in position number 5. We go back to your leaders as Swanson, Nelson and Justin Paul run 1, 2 and 3. But it's a 2-car battle at the front. And Swanson in number 15 looks excellent at the moment. Nelson may not have an answer for him as we start to wind through heat race number 11. There'll be 6 to run this time by.
This is a belter drive by Zach Swanson in the Wandon Heavy Haulage number 15, but check the battle from positions number 5 onwards. Marty Horson is locked in 5th, but he's got Jay Nicolaisen, Max Clark and Lucas Conda in this thing as well. Clark's charging hard. She's a bit of an elbows up battle. They've been banging doors right the way through this one. They're going to come up onto Peter Angus in lap traffic. And it's still Zach Swanson. So could the lap traffic play into Nello's hands here? Nello's locked to the bottom. He's going to get caught up in a big way. Oh, wow. That's not good for Nello. Not at all. Matt Nelson tangles with Peter Angus. Possibly we're going to... No, we're going yellow. I'm saying there's no way we stay green. And Matt Nelson, unfortunately, tags the tail.
Well, big decision incoming here.
Because he has the speed. But Westy is one spot closer to the front now. He's come from the tail, position number 11 on the grid, and he's up to P3. The Tirana is up and about. We're set for a start behind Swanson, Paul and West, Hawson and Clark. Clark's got to try and clear Hawson early, who's suffering from that flat left front tyre. Nello clears Peter Angus, and we now go to the battle out in front. Paul has the pace to run with Swanson so far. The Wandon heavy haulage, VA15 holding. Off Paul right now. Westy is tucked right into this battle. It's going to be a ripper for the top three. All glued to the bottom. No one is giving an inch. Max Clark is trying to close that distance as well now. Nello putting pressure on Nicolaisen. Further in the field, I think Hawson's finally come adrift. And it's going to bring on the yellows. He did well to muscle that car around as long as he did.
Modified sedan title. Swanson and Paul. What has Westy and Max Clark got for him, Liam? With 3 to run here in heat race 11.
The Wandon heavy haulage VA15 for another restart. It's a good launch by the Commodore. But he's got Paul tucked in tight. A little bit of a touch in the rear. Here comes Max Clark up the inside of West. Nicolaisen's in there as well, Matt Nello. Nelson is coming. It's exactly what Matt Nelson needed after getting the smack on the wrist and going to the rear. Nello's bunched the field back together, and this 6 is glued together. Right now, Matt Nelson still sits at the tail. It's Zach Swanson from Jamie Paul, from Graham West in the Tirana. Max Clark, Jay Nicolaisen, and Nello at the tail. White flag waves this time for Zach Swanson. Into the back straight, they'll run for the final time, Jared.
Swanson still under big pressure from Paul as Max Clark moves through to P3, and Westy gets shuffled out right in the closing stages, dropping wholesale positions. But no doubt about your winner at heat race number 11, Zach Swanson. The Adam Holt Industries ESS number 15 gets the job done. Jamie Paul home in second, and a hard-charging Max Clark comes home in the final podium spot. Put him right up at the pointy end of the points tally at the moment. Nelson comes home in fifth as he gets past Westy on the line. At drama for the Tirana in the closing stages. He comes home in sixth. Your winner on screen for everyone tuned in at home, and he'll join us in victory lane in a second. How about it, Moama? Make some noise for Zach Swanson.
So, climbing from the car, mate, you've got to be ecstatic about that one. Benny Bishop's able to slap a Speedway Australia cap on you as well. Driving the 15, mate, she was a long race, but you're able to get the job done. Folks, make plenty of noise for Zach Swanson.
Yeah, no worries, thanks. Yeah, it was just stick to the bottom, and we had that plan from the word go. And massive thanks to everyone that's made me help this car get going. It's been sitting there in the shed for 3 years, and the passing of my dad a couple of months ago, everyone got behind me, and that's the reason we're here. We're doing it for Dad.
Mate, it's a really cool testament to you and the whole family. They're all erupting up here on the hill, mate. It's a really well-earned heat race win. You can take a lot of confidence now into that final round of heat races tonight.
Yeah, well, last night after practice, the first run, I was happy to put it in the trailer. I didn't think much of it, but thanks to the boys in the pits, they've busted their bum all day and put up with my bad mood and everything. Thanks to Cherie and her family for bringing the kids for me to be able to watch me. And yeah, just thanks to everyone that's put the show on, and I think let's get it going.
Mate, this VA15 is bad fast. Congratulations on the heat race win. We'll grab you the heat race win award here for the Speedway Sedans Australia. Bendigo Metal Fabrications, National Modified Sedan title opposed for the Cameron. Got Benny Bishop down here on the infield as well from Speedway Australia. He's just being out. Set for a start, presented by Midland Contractors. 10 laps on the board for your modified sedans. Heat race number 12. Jorgo on the front with Wicks. Ready for a launch. Wow, it's a good even launch. It's exactly what Jorgo wanted. And Adam Jorgensen fires to the front. Wicks is tucked there. Here comes Matt Gerlach now as well. Gerlach goes up to P3, and here comes Brad Wicks as well, up to position number 4. The 36 of Atkins is digging now too, Jared.
Atkins came in like a rocket ship in turns 3 and 4, and the wanted number 36 moves through to position 5 as Redcliffe tries to feed it back to Todd Atkins, gets on the inside berm and unsettles the car a little bit, loses some ground. Your top 5 cars starting to split away as Jorgensen's got a little gap and he's running a little bit higher on the racetrack actually through 3 and 4. The Cortina looking fresh out the front at the moment. Back to Wicks, Gerlach and Wicks, so it's a Wicks sandwich for third as Gerlach has to get his skates on because brother Brad is coming to join Michael Wicks in second. As I say that, I've put the commentator's curse on him, and Todd Atkins slips through to position number 4.
Young Todd is digging the 36 right now for Club 36 Innovations and Wandon Heavy Haulage. Todd Atkins has the right pedal down. He's firing after Matt Gerlach now. Aaron Bunton is slowing on the top of the raceway. They're going to have to deal with that as Michael Wicks locks down second. A pair of 14s in 2 and 3. The third position is Matt Gerlach, and it's Todd Atkins going to work. We're back to Brad Wicks after that, and it's Redcliffe and Cockerell that go the distance.
And there's some telltale smoke coming from the right rear side of the number 25 Cortina out the front. I'm not 100% sure if it's a tyre rub or something in the diff maybe. The car's only in the corner as Redcliffe unloaded on the main straightaway. And I didn't catch what happened there, but he turned around at a massive rate of knots in the 29 machine. Parked up here facing the big crowd in turn number 1.
Yeah, and I only just...
Seeing what's down there, a few drivers probably a little bit concerned with some of the tyre wear across the heat races so far this weekend.
It always amazes me with race car drivers, though. They complain that the track is a one-lane track and that, but they never go up high and roll when they're rolling around. I notice these guys are starting to do it now. You want a good track, you've got to get up there and roll it in a bit.
I tell you what might roll in the track okay. I happened to see down in the car park there was a limousine spotted. There's a bit going on here in turn number 4, but there's a limousine in the car park, and I believe there's a truck driver out of the Wallen-Broadford area that's at the wheel of the thing, or possibly tonight he's further in the back. Brodie Montague and the whole team have brought a limousine out to the National Modified Sedan title tonight, Jared. Hopefully we could get a shot of that at some point over the weekend. Probably not the people that are inside of it, but definitely the limousine rolling in here.
And a little bit developing up here in the tower, some contact under yellow between a couple of the drivers. Obviously not happy, and here comes the big bad black flag hanging out of the flag stand here on the main straightaway. And the finger about to be pointed at one of the competitors.
I'm going to say, is that from a driver or?
And the 29 machine gets the black flag and signals his feelings back towards the tower as well. Drama unfolding here, Liam. A little bit of contact under yellow and certainly not tolerated by
and there's fireworks over the
stewards.
back
Look
straight
at
away
this.
as well. Sorry, Jared, to jump in there.
That's okay. Someone's teed that up for us. It's beautiful.
Fireworks in a helmet right now as well, and I'm not going to interview it.
I wouldn't walk within 20 metres of it, to be honest, at the moment.
It's an exciting time here in heat race number 12. A big shout out to Midland Contractors for sponsoring this one and all of our heat race sponsors. And of course, the Roberts family and the whole team behind Royal Precision Lubricants and everyone here at Heartland Raceway Moama that have supported this event. Of course, Bendigo Metal Fabrications coming on board as naming rights sponsor of the SSA Inc. National Modified Sedan title as well. We can't thank those guys enough, because this event just wouldn't be possible without our so many sponsors and supporters that make this one possible, as well as the whole crew behind Speedway Sedans Live as well, Jared, that are supporting that.
Yes, a big thank you to all of our presenting partners. And Redcliffe parked on the infield having a word to the official at the moment. It's a bad time to be a steering wheel. He copped a hiding then as we're about to go back to green flag racing here. Jorgensen, Wicks, Gerlach, Todd Atkins and then Brad Wicks, your top 5 We'll wait and see what the Wicks duo and Todd Atkins can do. We'll wait and see what Gerlach has got. Plenty of horsepower in the Octane Alley number 14. Just got to get it to the racing surface at the moment as we're back to green flag racing here in the final heat in round number 2 tonight. Jorgensen gets a clean jump and will drop to the bottom again. We're still very bottom dominant here at Heartland Raceway in Moama. Brad Wicks looks good in second as Gerlach starts to fall back a little bit, and Todd Atkins locked on the bottom, looking very, very racy right now, Liam.
It's a pretty epic shot as they head into 3 and 4 as well, as there's lightning starting to separate the clouds over the back, and it just looks epic as the cars rattle through 3 and 4. Todd Atkins is the man to watch right now. Jorgensen has this one covered from Michael Wicks, but if you can have a look over 3 and 4 and see the lightning picking up as Todd Atkins putting work on Gerlach for positions 3 and 4. They are locked together. Brad Wicks in this battle now as well. Aaron Bunton continues to circulate and grab those points around the outside, right in the racing groove right now, and they continue on. Jorgensen starting to really seal the deal in this one. Final heat race of round number 2, Jared.
It's a storm on the racetrack for third on backwards at the moment. Gerlach under big pressure from Todd Atkins. You see Atkins really widen up the entry of the corner so he can lock the car down the bottom in the middle of the turn. He diamonds the corner off again, and Gerlach just leaves him half a car width, but Todd can't capitalise. Back to Brad Wicks in 5th. Then Pimenta now goes to the outside of Chris Reich, and it's the number 8 machine for Rocket Rodney Pimenta. Can't make the middle lane work. He slips back into line and will hold position number 7 at the moment. Checkered flag is out though, and Jorgensen gets the win in heat race number 12. Brad Wicks home in 2nd. Gerlach in 3rd in a gallant drive to hold off Todd Atkins. Brad Wicks in 5th, then Chris Reich, Cockrell, Rodney Pimenta, Tristan McGraw, your finishes on the lead lap, and Bunton not going the full distance. Adam Jorgensen gets the win, and there'll be plenty in North Queensland that are happy about that. We'll see the big fella in victory lane right after this commercial.
So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for heat race winner number 12 out of Queensland, driving the 25, Adam Jorgensen. Mate, Queensland to be stoked with that one for you, buddy. Up on the wheel and just sailed away with it.
Yeah, mate. This one goes back to all the family members, team members, and all the boys and the engine owner and all them that couldn't make it. I can't thank my sisters, me wife, kids, and mum and dad. And mate, this all wouldn't be possible without my good mate Dan Heathorn here. So at 2,800 kilometres one way, mate, we've bonded pretty well.
I bet you would have. Mate, this thing is a bullet right now. Just stepped away with that thing, and it looked probably one of the best handling race cars out there. It's just glued to that racing line, and you never put a foot wrong.
Oh, mate, I thought I was surrounded. So, yeah, no, credit to everyone involved, mate, and yeah, let's go, get it happening.
Congratulations on the heat race win. We'll see you in the next one. We'll grab you a heat race win aboard. He's taken home a Speedway Australia cap as well, which is pretty cool. Benny Bishop handing that one down. We'll grab a quick photo of Jorgo as he takes the Q25 heat race number 1 win. That one presented by Midland Contractors.
Looking good for a start. They're a little bit spread out. They'll need to bunch themselves up a bit. Green flag at the ready. And we're racing here at Heartland. Those super rods are away to the lead. 15 in the lead at the moment. No, it's not. It's the 83 car of Jacob Pitcher to lead them down the back straight for the first time. So Pitcher out in front. I think that's the 96 car back there in second spot. Dane Court, Jamie Mays in third, Sean Welsh, Stacey Jacko, George Wollstonecroft, Rod Smith and Howard Stanfield rounds them out. We've got one in a bit of trouble over there on the back straight. Lost a lot of ground as our leader comes around. Jacob Pritchard, 27.18 on his first lap. 23.91 on his second lap. So the modified sort of running in the same time frame as these guys. They've got bigger rubber and all that. Says a lot for the calibre of a lot of these modified drivers. But these guys, Dane Court's 23.69 in second place. Court in second. James May back there in third. Sean Walsh is in fourth place with Rod Smith. George Wollstonecroft, Stacey Jacko and Howard Stanfield as they go down the back straight to put another one on. They've sort of spread themselves out a little bit. Where's the action going to come from? The 97 car starting to make a bit of a move, Sean Walsh. Having a bit of a look at the back of May there. Can he do something with it? I don't know yet. He's going to have a bit of a look as they go down into turn 3. And he's going to try and have a bit of a crack anyway. At the pointy end of things, the 96 car hasn't made up any ground, Dane Court. As they go round, and we are yellow. We've got one stuck over on turn 2, over the back there. And I think it's Howard Stanfield. I could be wrong on that one. Or is it Stacey Jacko? Righto, ready for a start. 83, Jacob Pitcher. Dane Court. Jamie May. Sean Walsh. Rod Smith. They're away. They can go any time after turn 3. And they're gone. Pitcher's pulled out 2-3 car lengths already on the second place of Court. Closes up under brakes. May comes back into the equation. At the back of this bunch of the 97 car, Sean Welsh starts to make a move here. Has a look on the inside. Can he do something? Welsh. They're going to run out of laps. 6 down. White flag out this time around as our leader, Jacob Pritchard. Still comes through a 19.656 for Pritchard, a 19.794 for Court, a 19 for May, a 19 for Welsh. They're all into the 19s, bar the last 2 cars. So this track has quickened up. Jacob Pritchard with a 19.656 comes around to take the checkered flag. So it's the Avalon 83 car of Pritchard. Second to the Hamilton 96 is second, Dane Court. Third place to the Warrnambool 8 of Jamie May with the Simpson 97, Sean Walsh. Back to the Simpson 31, Rod Smith, 88 of Howard Stanfield. George Wollstonecroft and Stacey Jacko rounds them out. So the Super Rods, they have a pole shuffle to go. And they've got a 25-lap final with them all in. So we'll look forward to more Super Rod action very shortly. But I better write my finishing places down.
It's as good as you'd want it to be inside row number 2. This is going to be a belter. Has Sweeney got anything for the field from deep as well? It's a good chance for Lockie Fitzpatrick on the front row. Conda sat right back. Hopefully we can keep running with this one. Wow, big move by Walters already. Fitzpatrick looked to have shut the door, but Walters still makes it work. We're going to go yellow. I thought that might have happened. Seems to me more like Conda might have been sitting back. I think Fitzpatrick was really right in the line there. But that's why I'm not on the one-way communicator and I'm on the microphone.
I think we're putting... Just takes one slip up and someone will poke the nose in the inside and give you the heave-ho out of the way. Cars are stacked, packed and racked for heat race number 13. It's the final round of heats here on night number 1 of the Bendigo Metal Fabrication National Modified Sedan title, and Fitzpatrick and Condor get us back underway. Condor runs the middle lane, Fitzpatrick on the bottom. We're going to go side by side out of turn 2. Who's going to prevail?
That's a better start, isn't it? Fitzpatrick can be stoked with this one. He's holding off Conda right now as the national champion tries to bypass the B9 of Lucas Conda. I think he'll get it done this time. Nello is tucked right in tight behind Walters. Sweeney is in there. Waters hasn't been able to fire a real shot yet. He's tucked behind Alex Sweeney in the Q108. Nello trying to get by Conda now.
And poor Lucas Condor has the freight train happening on the inside. Sweeney tries to poke the nose, and he closes that gap up as well. Condor doing the shuffle at the moment. Look at the speed that Waters fired it down the inside, and now Kai Walters, your defending national champion, right on the back bumper of Fitzpatrick. Walters to the middle lane of the racetrack, and he's going to go the shots line in 1 and 2. Diamond back to the bottom, and look at the drive from Kai Walters. He's got Nelson right with him, and if Walters leaves the door open, he may get shuffled himself here, Liam.
It's exactly what Fitzpatrick needs, is Walters and Nello to battle it out. The three Falcons going to work at the top. This is an epic race with Matt Nelson, Kai Walters, Nello clears second. Have a look at the speed on the 61. Fitzpatrick holds them out for now, but Nello has a ton of speed. What has Matt Nelson got for Lockie Fitzpatrick? Do not count out Kai Walters, and definitely do not count out Jared Waters, who's in this one now.
A lap ago, he was 4, 5, 6 car lengths back, and all of a sudden, right on the hammer here with your front three. It's a 4-car go for the lead. Fitzpatrick on the bottom as Walters looks upstairs, and that's going to allow Jared Waters through now. Walters continues to try to make the middle lane work, and it's biting him at the moment. Drops back to position number 4. Is Nelson going to use the front bumper here? He sits locked on the bottom in second at the moment. Fitzpatrick's perfect, but they're banging panels in 3 and 4.
Oh, this is a belter race to kickstart round number 3 of heats. This young man is doing a cracking job out in front right now. Lockie Fitzpatrick is one of the few rookies in this field, only a few years under his belt in the modified sedan category. You can barely call him a rookie anymore. But this will be his biggest win to date if he can hang on to this heat race. It's been epic for this family. Would love to see this 11 get the heat race win, but he's got Matt Nelson wanting no part of second right now.
It'll be one to run next time by. Fitzpatrick has the whole field sweating over the back bumper, and the FGX Falcon locks it off the bottom, comes past the doctor's jacket with 1 to run. He's been perfect so far in heat race 13 and has a set of corners left to go. Nelson with another good run. Walters is getting crucified for trying to run the outside line, but makes the move on Sweeney. A little bit of smoke for him as well, but look at Lockie Fitzpatrick gets the win in heat race number 13. Matt Nelson home in second. A fast finishing Waters third. Plenty of smoke from the Kai Walters car. We'll wait and see if we can get a report from the pit area about what that was. Sweeney, Condor and Mick Johnson round out your finishes in heat race number 13. How about it? Moama makes some noise for Lockie Fitzpatrick.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as he takes the window net down, we'll slap a Speedway Australia hat on him as well. Man, this will be one of the coolest heat race weekend, I reckon. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the driver of the V number 11, Lockie Fitzpatrick. Man, you got to be stoked with that. You just got a heat race win at the National Modified Sedan title. How does it feel?
Oh, mate, I'm ecstatic. I don't have many words to say, to be honest with you. Just thanks to all the guys in the pits. I got Andy, Darren, Mum, Dad, everyone crewing down there. They're doing awesome. This car's going pretty good. I felt all those guys behind me bumping me and trying to get me offline. But I knew if I stayed on that pole line, just let them drive around me, and if they're good enough, then so be it. But yeah, I was good enough to manage to hold them off, which was pretty cool. Well, thanks to all the sponsors on the car. Thanks to Heartland for putting it on. And yeah, cheers to everyone.
Lockie, I'm pumped for you, dude. They weren't just 3 guys either. They're possibly 3 of the fastest mods here this weekend. And you just got the job done on them. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Liam. Yeah. It was awesome. I knew I had the Benz and Walters behind me. I seen Walters stick his nose up on that first restart. And yeah, I knew I just had to stick down low and go sort of thing. So yeah, just thanks again to everyone.
Getting the job done in heat race number 13. We'll grab a photo with the heat race winner board, and you can take that one home as well as a monumental.
Brock Atkins will start in position number 9. Alongside him will be Rachel Pratt. And rounding out the field will be Peter Angus in the V71. And it's a full card here for heat race 14. Impressive to get a full card towards the end of the night. We're stacked, packed and racked once again, Liam.
So it'd be an epic one to watch. Cockerell is fast off the front row. So is Westy. Atkins at the tail. It's a good launch by Cockerell. Runs into one. He leads the field. Marty Hawson up on the curb in a big way. Westy slots into second. It's Max Clark in third from Marty Hawson. From Ty Galley. The fireworks just belting down over the back straightaway. Such a cool spectacle right now.
It's impressive.
Wish we could claim them. It's Max Clark putting a move on Graham West right now. Have a look at the size difference in those two cars. Westy runs up high, Jared. Hopefully can hang on to P3, but here comes Marty Hawson and Ty Galley in the freight train.
Yeah, cop the hip and shoulder there as Ty Galley looks to take advantage as well. Westy's fed up with this and gives Hawson what for. And that will bring an end to proceedings here in heat race number 14 for a moment.
Westy up and about.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit fed up with getting the heave-ho in turns 1 and 2 and wasn't going to take it any longer.
Wow.
Martin Hawson ended up turned to the infield, and we'll await how much forward progress can he make. Pratt's on the back bumper as well as we're set to go racing here in heat race number 14, and we're back green here in Moama for Bendigo Metal Fabrication. Speedway Sedans live, powered by Pro One Race Parts, and Cockerell gets a ripping start, but look at the drive that Max Clark has off the corner. Clark is hooked up and hammer down, Liam.
Yeah, and Cockerell's been really good as of late in holding out positions. He went pole position at the Victorian title not too long ago at Southern 500 Speedway Portland, as I've got a couple of people joining me on the infield, and we go yellow. That was a close one with the back turn. I'm sure it wasn't as close as it felt. But
for those who joined us at the Calcutta last night, we were watching some classic title vision from Bendigo in 1994, and there was a little incident where a driver came across the infield. There was an official on the infield that had an absolute set of steel. He stood there and just watched the car go about a foot away from him. I don't think it was quite that bad on the infield, but there was a little bit of contact there between the Galley family. Big supporters of modified sedan racing around the country for a long, long time, as we're set to go racing here again in heat race number 14. Cockerell, Clark, and Galley, your front three as we greet the green flag. Single file past the cone once again. And what has Max Clark got for Nick Cockerell out the front here? Front two have slipped away a little bit. Clark looks a little tight on entry, but my goodness, it's got some mumbo off the corner. She's square and fast off the exit of turns 2 and 4. Superior painting 15. As Atkins now drops back behind Rachel Pratt, and he goes back upstairs, and more contact between Rachel Pratt and Brock Atkins. That allows Swanson through now.
yeah, that's the spot to watch, isn't it? Atkins and Pratt. It's got West on the bottom. This is bumper to bumper deep in the field, and the leaders continue to dice it out. Lightning starting to set down over the main straightaway as well. It's gridlock. Steve Ellis is holding out tangles. Zach Swanson on the bottom. Rachel Pratt on the top. And Brock Atkins and Graham West right at the tail with Peter Angus as well. Cockerell continues to lead the main straightaway.
Cockerell still out front. Clark right on the curb trying to make something happen, but my goodness, it's on for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment, as Pratt now under pressure for Brock Atkins, but those two have slipped back through the field. Your leaders on screen for those tuned in at home, and this is the battle further back in the pack. Ellis leads this pack with tangles right on the back bumper. We're 5 in, 5 to run, Lehman. The leaders have split out, but this mid-pack battle is just something to behold at the moment.
This is epic right now. It's good to see Steve Ellis holding out so many of them as well. Tangle's doing everything he can, but the main battle on your screen is Brock Atkins and Rachel Pratt. They've hammered door to door right through the course of this one. And it's now Brock on the tail of West. It's a 6-car battle for that position. It's from 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. They continue to throw down lap after lap. Nick Cockerell just starting to gain the advantage now over Max Clark.
Ellis just missed the bottom that time, and he's going to drop wholesale spots here. The Statesman is going to get shuffled from 4th back to 8th in one foul swoop, and he may have dramas here. As we start to wind through the laps, there's 2 to run for Nick Cockrell, who split away a little bit from Max Clark. Gully runs third and Atkins buried deep in the field in this one. He was equal top points coming into the third round of heats, and now Brock Atkins runs 7th and won't be achieving what he's hoping to here in heat race number 14. White flag comes out, Liam, 1 to run.
You're right, Jared. Not ideal at all for Brock Atkins as far as the point score is concerned. And those points ever valuable when the race is locked to the bottom like this. You just need to make the most of each and every position, as does this guy right now. Nick Cockrell brings it to the line. He's going to take out heat race number 14 from Max Clark, back to Ty Galley in the Wagga Wagga 00. Back to Tangle's Head in 4, Zach Swanson, Graham West, Brock Atkins, Rachel Pratt, Steve Ellis, and Peter Angus rounds out the field. And Nick Cockerell getting the job done there in heat race number 14. He set the AC Delco number 11 Commodore off the pole position in the Victorian title, and a broken wheel took him out of the chances. And he was heartbroken after the event, but I think that might make up for it. And he sets his sights on the National Modified Sedan title. A quick word from our sponsors and we'll grab Nick for his heat race winner interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, as he accepts the new Speedway Australia cap, driving the AC Delco number 11, getting the job done in heat race number 14, Nick Cockerell. Nick, congratulations, mate. You managed to pull away a bit at the end there, and of course, you've been fast in recent weeks, mate. You set her off pole position in the Victorian Modified Sedan title, but this is the one that matters now, brother. We put the head down and we head for the Nationals.
Yeah, this is one my family's been trying to win for a long, long time. So, yeah, starting on the front row there, you really need to finish at the front, and gladly got the jump in Westy and never seen him, so good.
The way it's got to be, mate. Who have you got to thank on this team? This thing is bad fast right now.
I'd like to thank, first of all, Mick and Joe's Charlestown for coming on board. Typhow, sorry. Yeah, they've been a great help to getting us here with a bit of fuel and the tyre. AC Delco, Peter in the pits, Max Fry for painting the car, and Coxie, Louise, and especially my old man and everyone back watching at home. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. He gets the job done in heat race number 14. He'll get a quick photo with the heat race winner board. He'll be able to take home as well. Folks, put your hands together for the AC Delco number 11 of Nick Cockerell.
Back to Redcliffe and Mick Shelford. Brodie Christie's out there alongside the 45 of Sean Thompson. We're going to go for a quick dispatch here in heat race 15, and we're not mucking around anymore here at Heartland Raceway. Garlic in this one, as well as Brett Barron, your top point scorer from the back row, and we're stacked up coming down the back straightaway. Shelford and Redcliffe come together, and Marcus Redcliffe's night is going from bad to worse, Liam.
Yeah, there's just not a lot else you could say there. I think he just ran out of ground in front of him, and he's collected the Shelford Q1. And again, we see the Redcliffe 29 parked up on the infield. And possibly there be fireworks again inside the helmet right now, as it is setting over the back straightaway. It's just so pretty, isn't it? How lucky. And the whole presentation of that event, it was such a high spectacle for it to be rained out right in the line. I don't think a lot of people really understood the amount of work and the toughness that went into that eventual result. Nonetheless, weather's perfect here, Jared. We're ready for another start. Aaron Bunton, the yellow lights go on early. The green flag wave, but we still got yellow lights on. Are we going yellow?
We are going yellow.
Atkins is nearly unloaded. We're not yellow. We are. We're not. We are.
Well, you're a better man than me if you can work that one out. We're green at the moment, and we're a lap down. I don't know what's going on there, but Chris Hayden leads heat race number 15. We're going to go yellow now anyway. As Bunton turns it around, and somehow the field managed to miss him there.
I think we'll put that start behind us.
Yeah, wipe that one from the memory bank.
Oh, I reckon you've got it on record. That was different.
Chris Hayden just backed her in there, and Aaron Bunton had nowhere to go.
Right. So Hayden will lead us. We'll get this thing back on track in a second. Hayden will lead us back to the green flag here in heat race 15. Bunton He is no longer, he's parked on the infield. It'll be Atkins and Stevenson behind him. Bringing him in at a snail's pace is Chris Hayden in the EB Falcon. Little 3.9 litre, has plenty of torque off the corner. Look at the pace that Todd Atkins carried on turn entry there in the Club 36 Innovations. BA Falcon looking good down the back straight away. Stevenson tries to lock on the bottom as well. Christie's right in this. There's 4 cars battling for the lead, and look at the heave-ho. The Chris Hayden cop from Todd Atkins. Atkins goes upstairs. What a race here.
It's an epic battle, 4 wide coming off turn 2. This could go any way. Brody Christie's right in this thing. Hayden Stevenson. Scott Angus is in there as well. Atkins around the top. Todd Atkins goes the outside on all 3 cars. It's a belting race around the top again. Todd Atkins glances the race lead. Hayden back by on the inside. Atkins will lead the back straight.
Hayden on struggle street down the bottom. Atkins made the top work to perfection, and look at the drive that Todd Atkins has out the front here. Brody Christie and Hayden Stevenson look like they've been a war for 3rd and 4th, and there's contact between Christie and Chris Hayden. They'll be locked together at the top of 1 and 2, and that's not the way you want your heat race to unfold. Christie and Chris Hayden come together.
Oh my.
And we are fired up. There's some hand signals being exchanged down in turns 1 and 2. And the temperature has just gone up another notch here.
Cracking heat race.
I think Hayden's got a bit of a handling problem, actually. That car looked untidy.
Yeah, it's very loose, isn't it?
Very.
Coming up. Todd Atkins on the top side is going to bring the start around this time. Chris Hayden, Mick Shelford, Brett Barron, good launch by Atkins. He's just got to hang on. I think Todd Atkins got the car to be able to step away. Shelford goes to work on Hayden. Christie firing a shot at Thompson. He's going to clear comfortably, but Thompson has a big look back on the top side. Trying to close that door. Christie goes after Garlic now.
Cars starting to bottle up there behind Chris Hayden at the moment, although Shelford can't go with him off the corner. That distinctive note of Brett Barron's VS Commodore, the exhaust system on that car certainly has a note of its own, and Brett Barron, you can hear him amongst everyone else, trying to roll out of the throttle on corner entry and lock the car on the bottom. Doing a ripper job of it at the moment too, right there in 4th position. And faring the best out of all of our competitors high up in the points so far in the 3rd round of heats is Hayden. Under pressure from Shelford, back to Barron. Scott Angus running in 5th with Garlic. And Christie backed up behind him. Thompson rounding out your runners here in heat race 15. There'll be 2 to run this time by Liam. Has anyone got anything for Chris Hayden? Forget about your leader. Todd Atkins has thrown the keys on the counter and checked out.
Yeah, Hayden just got to hang on. Shelford is tucked in deep. He's got a pair of Queenslanders trying very hard. Oh, I think the rear end's let go on the Hayden. This has changed things up. Barron through for 2nd. This is huge for his points. Monumental for Brett Barron. Could well claim 2nd place. It's going to sit him top points. Brett Barron just needs to hold out Shelford now, and he looks like he'll do that comfortably. Todd Atkins just dominant in heat race number 15. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The belter race. Brett Barron through for 2nd. Mick Shelford 3rd. Scott Angus, Casey Garlic, Brody Christie, and Sean Thompson, the final car to finish a grueling heat race number 15, presented by H&V Pierce Engine Reconditioners. It's event 18 in your program in the books, and Todd Atkins gets the job done. I'll have a quick word from our sponsors and we'll chat to Todd. So as he slaps on the new Speedway Australia cap, driving for Wandon Heavy Haulage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, driver the number 36, Todd Atkins. Todd, dominant. Just dominant, mate. You really sailed away with that one, and the car looked like a pleasure to drive. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. The
car was unreal to drive, so it makes it easier when that happens. But it's been a difficult night so far, and I'm just glad to finally have a decent run. Yeah.
Both you Atkins boys now getting a heat race win on night number 1. It's got to feel good when you sit down at the end of the night. Now the night's over, you can sit back and watch some super rod action if you wish. You can sit back and look at least we've both got heat race wins. This thing is now a bullet. Brock's got a fair bit of work to do, but this thing's a bullet, mate, and you've got to be pretty confident as you head into night number 2.
Yeah, definitely confident heading into night 2. Like, the car's unreal on this kind of track. But, yeah, it's been a massive, massive effort. No one realises how big it's been behind the scenes. We had, probably 16 hours to work on my car to even get it here. We got it back on the Wednesday, but had a bit of a holiday at Auto Projects in Ballarat with Peter Corcoran. I know he's on holiday mode somewhere right now, and if he's watching at the moment, I'd love to send out a massive thank you to him. I haven't even spoken to him. But, yeah, a massive thank you to him for getting the car going. It's really nice, and after all the dramas we had at Portland, it's grouse to finally get some laps in, actually start a race for the night and that. But yeah, massive thank you to Wandon Heavy Haulage, Elite Shock Services. Brock, he put in a massive amount of work for me during the week on the shocks. Tritech Lubricants for everything they do. They've been a tremendous help our whole racing career. Norton Motor Group, Atkins Auto Works, Hamilton, DC and Team Auto Electrics. I know they're doing a massive skiing foundation race or something along them lines. I'd like to send out a massive congratulations to them as well. Yeah, thanks to Moama for putting on such a great racetrack, and yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of a top line tomorrow, get it something similar to opening night this year. But thank you.
Congratulations, Todd. I know it means the world to you guys. He's worked so hard for it, and it's a cracking heat race win. Going the way of the 30. Scheduled to start inside row number 3. You can see that spot sitting vacant alongside Wade McCarthy in the 6.
And of course, if before the heat race the car drops out, they crisscross over. But as we'd already rolled out for the gate, we're all just going to slide forward. So Michael Wicks will move to position 5. Heat 16 set to get underway, Liam.
Warren and Gerlach, Parkinson, Murphy, McCarthy and Wicks. Throw in Talia, Dolick, Dale, Hallett, Uren and Reich as well. Have a look at Parko. Side by side with Brad Warren. Into 3 and 4 they'll run. Gerlach and Murphy, and it is a conga line of menace right now. They are tucked right in tight behind each other. And Hallett, have a look at the outside of Dolick, tucks back down low. Parkinson clears for the lead now. This thing is bumper to bumper, Jared.
Turn back the clock. Parko leads here in Heat 16. Checks up a little bit on entry there to turn 3, and Brad Warren's right with him. But it's Parko in the Avalon 88, the dirty old XF out the front here. And having a ball, Brad Warren and Gerlach are right there with him. Murphy's got him checked up a little bit behind him, back to McCarthy. And Michael Wicks. As look at the speed on entry from Talia Dolick. She gets in a little bit hot there, but with 3 cars battling for the lead and the rest are battling for the minor places. Hallett hasn't progressed from the back of the bus here. Look at Brad Warren go to the inside, Liam.
That's 3 Avalon race cars right now, dicing it out. It's a pretty fierce contingent of modified sedans that operate around Avalon Raceway in Lara, Victoria, and they are going to work right now. Matt Gerlach tucked right in behind Brad Warren. Ash Parkinson in the Victory Lane race gear, V88. Matt Eastham and the whole crew in behind that race car. Of course, they're not here tonight, but supporting that car with Victory Lane race gear. Parko up to 3, looking for second now as Brad Warren finds him in the dust in the Hayden race cars, 84. McCarthy, how's the tip in on Murphy? We're yellow.
Oh, wow.
A monster pedal up the inside. Never really looked like it was going to stick.
I don't think McCarthy was happy to stay there any longer. So Parko, what has he got for Matt Gerlach? The Victory Lane, number 88 for Highport Cylinder Heads. Chasing down the Octane Alley, number 14. Gerlach gets us back underway. And that probably won't stick as Hallett's come to the infield. We're still green at the moment. A messy start, an absolute dog's breakfast. We stay green here though, Liam, and Parkinson slipped back to 3rd.
Yeah, Brad Warren's ripped right up into P2 now. And has he got the speed to run with Gerlach at the front? That's the question now. Liam Murphy, Michael Wicks, Chris Reich, Wade McCarthy, Talia Dolick, Robert Uren and Dale Hallett rounds out your field. Right now it's the Octane Alley AV14 of Matt Gerlach holding out Brad Warren in the 84. Parko's in third, that's Ash Parkinson in V88. Liam Murphy slows. This could be disastrous, it's not. Luckily we clear and Liam Murphy will bring it to the infield. He's not going to know that he's clear and can go to the infield now, and I think we're going to go yellow. It's probably the safest way to do it. That could have been a lot uglier than it was.
Yeah, we got away with another one there. Looks like there may be the left front sitting at a little bit of an awkward angle on the Murphy machine.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking that.
I think it's more of a power issue. The car just rolled to a stop, so I think he's got more of a power issue.
In the distance, Brad Warren, Ash Parkinson, Michael Wicks, Chris Reich, Wade McCarthy, Talia Dolick, Robert Uren and Dale Hallett set for a start. Matt Gerlach and Warren. Here comes the Crossflow V88, the Victory Lane race gear. Can he keep it locked to the bottom? It's been loosening up on him. It's been a handful to drive for Parko, but right now she's tightened up pretty good. Gerlach has pressure now from Warren. Really closing that line as I say that. I curse him and Warren has a big push, but Gerlach has just been locked solid in this one, Jared.
He's been impressive. Robert Uren from South Australia retires to the infield and won't go the distance here as Brad Warren slips off the bottom, and that allows Parko to have another sniff as the white flag comes out. There's one to run for the Octane Alley number 14 car hailing from Avalon in Victoria. Parkinson through to second and Brad Warren under big pressure now from Michael Wicks. Final spot on the podium up for grabs, but Matt Gerlach at the Victoria 14 gets the win in heat 14, in heat 16 I should say. Parkinson home in second, Brad Warren third. It's an Avalon trifecta at the front of Victorians. Get up and make some noise as Matt Gerlach gets the job done in heat 16. We'll have a chat with him in Victory Lane right after we pay a couple more bills.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this one brought to us by All Stone Quarries. Event 20 in your program in modified sedans. Heat race number 16. As he takes the safety gear off, he'll be ecstatic with this one. He's going to receive a Speedway Australia cap as well. Driving the AV14, Matt Gerlach. Mate, got the job done and looked really good doing it too. You've got to be happy with that one.
Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit upset with myself, though. Kind of rubbed Wazza up, right? He's a pretty clean racer, so I feel bad for that, but it is nice to get a win. You kind of need at least one win to get into the A. Probably still not in even with one win at the moment, but yeah, it's nice.
Hey, she's a brutal field at the moment. As you said, you just got to get the runs on the board. You're up against 68 or so of the best in the nation. How's this car feel for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of it is we've probably got 50% of those cars whooping our ass every week in Victoria, right? So the car's really good. Massive thanks to John and Al and Tyrone at Octane Alley Performance, Gilbert and Debbie, Horsham Auto Wreckers, Ian at I&J Speedway Spares, Darren at McAlpine Crash Repairs, and Dirtex Industries, and Brian at Aikman's hooks us up with, geez, they're noisy, hooks us up with, that'd be Jake, dips and drive shafts, so thank you.
Congratulations, matey. I always love seeing this thing up the front, brother. Well done. We'll grab a photo with the heat race winner board and we'll see Matt Gerlach.
Australian champion, the Snake, Jake Druitt, will start from position 7. He's right up the pointy end at the moment as well. And alongside him will be the 25 of Jamie Paul. No Mark Carlin out here in heat race 17. We'll see if that car rejoins us tomorrow night. So it'll be Daniel Simpson to start from 9 and Darcy Wilson to round out your starters here in heat race 17. Another stellar field here. There's 2 heat races to run tonight on night number 1 of the Modified Sedan National title. For Speedway Sedans Live, presented by Pro One Race Parts, and that start is a dog's breakfast. Corey Knox went nowhere, and I'll be very surprised if we stay green. We're going to go yellow down the back straight away, Liam. That would have been paying $1 on Sportsbet to stay green there.
That was a shocker. Knox just didn't get off the line at all.
And Leicester coming to the infield. Possibly a little bit of panel damage in the right front corner after that turn 1 altercation.
Bit of duct tape and she'll be back on there. Or we're tearing it off. There's one of two ways this goes.
That always makes me tear up a little bit. The Leicester machine very beautifully turned out every time it hits the racetrack.
Just stone's throws, really.
Just on a quick little note, the quickest time that I've picked up all night is Snake with a 22.26, and he's sitting back there a bit, and he has been the quickest man out there tonight.
He'll certainly be one to watch here in this heat race, Maury. Plenty of Victorian representation in this field. For heat race number 17, Liam, we're set to go green.
Queensland's Tim Atkin. Wow, the Knox car doesn't get off the line at all. It's a better start, but that's a slim grab. Druitt's rear brakes are glowing red hot on that launch. Just had to keep her in line as Knox falls back through the field. That car just did not get off the line. It's flying a little better now, but just didn't want to get off the line. So Bendigo's Lenny Clark goes to work with David Smith, who's charging through the field. Here comes Snake Druitt as well. Jake Druitt, the South Australian modified sedan champion, pedaling his way up to 4. Darren Lester in 5. Knox in 6, but the battle is on with Tim Atkin and Lenny Clark out the front.
Yeah, Lenny Clark looking good. There's dramas for Druitt. Those rear brakes are still locked on in the South Australia 1 machine. So whatever setup he's got in the rear end, all sorts of dramas at the moment as we pick that up on our live vision for those watching at home. Rear brakes are locked on hard. He's making hard work for himself as David Smith now looks to the inside of Lenny Clark and gets the move done. Druitt gets in hot as well, and we're going to stack him up in turns 1. Druitt, Lester, and the field behind them arrived in a hurry as Jake Druitt looked to go to the inside of Lenny Clark. And Leicester got the short tomorrow afternoon. Heat races 19 to 24 will be the last chance for points. We're heat 17 here, the penultimate heat of the night, Liam, and we're set to go back green.
Atkin, Smith and Clark. Lester, Simpson, Wilson. Into 1 and 2 we run. Atkin lights the tyres and he skips away off the corner. This thing has epic leaving the line speed, and David Smith now has to try and close that gap. Lenny Clark has been bad fast in the Bendigo number 8 for Safescape, but here comes the big bad FG Falcon of Darren Lester now. Buys into the battle, and it's just a gridlock really. This whole field congested right together, and Jake Druitt's trying to make the most of this rear position and try and move forward and make the most of his points. Just desperately needs to make amends of this one. Lenny Clark moves back a line and loses 2 spots. Simpson and Clark side by side. Lester is up to 3, grabs a heap of curb coming off turn 2.
Yeah, Lester trying to make some forward progress here, but being thwarted a little bit at the moment as Atkins, Smith and Lester make your top 3. Simpson in 3rd, Wilson back in 4th, and we're pretty much locked on the bottom through heat 17 as some of the cars start to shed the panels into turns 1 and 2. Druitt still with that brake problem down the back straight away and hasn't worked his way from the back of the field yet. Lester locked on the bottom and right on the back bumper of David Smith as we start to close out heat race number 17. Atkin though, perfection out the front here. There'll be 2 to go next time past the line, and it's hard to see him being beaten from here, Liam.
I don't think you'll be touching the brakes on the SA number 1 until the heat race tomorrow night. They are glowing red hot. Simpson's up to 3. Darcy Wilson up now as well. Lester finds the dust up the top, and that's going to be devastating for the 59. McRaw's going to fire by as well. Corey Knox rounding out the field. White flag at the ready for Tim Atkin. He's got this one shot to bits. David Smith and Daniel Simpson bumper to bumper, the pair of red cars. David Smith, oh wow. Just pointing out to us, Jake Druitt's rear brakes in a big flame. Yep, a bright blue brake fluid flame there. Be pouring out of the brakes. Tim Atkin gets the win from David Smith, Daniel Simpson. Carnage on the raceway. That's a fair old fire out the back of the SA number 1 on the V18. Hopefully that extinguishes itself as the brakes can cool. And we'll grab a chat with Tim Atkin here on the main straightaway in Victory Lane. Plenty going on in the second last heat race of the night for night number 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, as he turns the fire off, the 23, one of the nicest looking race cars in the field, and this thing has hit the track every time, glistening in tyre shine. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. The driver of the Q23 getting the job done in heat number 17, Tim Atkin. Just removes the harness device. Tim, you've got to be stoked with that one, mate. You're able to just skip away at the end there, and this is one gorgeous looking race car too.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool hot rod to drive. Really needed that point, so it's good to get a win. So, yeah, relatively trouble-free night. Big thanks to everyone that makes it happen with Jeff and Beck and Riley and Shelby and all the other sponsors.
Congratulations, mate. You made it look really too easy. We'll grab a photo with the winner's board as well. And hats off to the crew, man. This thing hits the track glistening every time. You've got to be proud of the crew.
Yeah, it does. They try really hard and they put everything into it. It's their whole life, so it's good to get them some results.
Congratulations, Tim, mate. Plenty of noise. The winner of heat race number 17, proudly presented by Royal Titanium Racing Oil. Whoever does that for them, guys, does a cracking job, and they've always done that on the Super Sedan and the modified Sedan now as well, across his brother Michael and, of course, Brad at the wheel of the 17 right now. It's Kev Young in the Q71 and Alan Mortimer on the outside. Your final heat race of the night for modified sedans is live. Mortimer on the top, Young on the bottom. McDonald spears infield. There's cars up into the fence. Is Evans. And I think it's Pimenta as well. Mortimer's gone into the fence too. Jared, this is a grueling opening corner.
Yeah, we said it was going to be all on in turns 1 and 2. And unfortunately, there's about 4 or 5 cars in one. The track crew there just tending to a few of the cars stopped together. It was Chris Evans who was turned hard right across the front of the field. Nathan McDonald parked on the inside of turn 1 and 2. Rodney Pimenta involved in that as well as Alan Mortimer from WA.
Now for the other one.
That is a pretty good look, isn't it?
Heartbreak for the Smith Motorsport crew, Peter Smith and the team. Chris and his wonderful wife Amy and the whole family down here this weekend, and that is not an attractive sight. The Nissan unfortunately being skull dragged onto the infield, and a lot of work to do for those guys to just get that car back in the trailer or possibly attempt to repair it for tomorrow night. Thankfully, Chris out of the car and A-OK and speaking with officials.
Yeah, he's just
confusion has become the normal here. We're all settled and locked into some sort of formation here for the final heat race of the night. And heat race 18 is back underway. Kev Young and Brad Wicks, your front row, a couple of EL Falcons. Go door to door into 1 and 2. As Trish Dyke runs Pimenta to the fence and makes contact with Nathan McDonald. That all got a little bit ugly further back in the pack, but it's Kevin Young leading from Brad Wicks out the front here, Liam, and they're going to be side by side into 1 and 2.
Wicks puts the hammer down on the 17, fires that shot up the inside. That's car 17 and 71 that go the battle now. Firing in is Mick Boyle, the fastest I've seen in a long time. Nathan McDonald is slowing, Jared. It's a heartbreaking sight to see that 32 pulling infield down the back straightaway. So Brad Wicks continues to lead. Man, I'd love to have a chat with this guy after this. It's been an epic drive by Brad Wicks so far. It's been pretty injury-riddled final heat so far, but we're finally underway. Kev Young from Mick Boyle in third. Jay Nicolaisen, Pimenta. Jorgensen now goes by Pimenta. Trish Dyke and Redcliffe at the tail.
And something's gone sour in the Queensland number 8 machine. Pimenta struggling here. He was running in 4th position at the time and drops to the back of the bus. So Nathan McDonald on the infield. Pimenta will be out of this one, as well as Mortimer and Chris Evans, Kevin Young and Mick Boyle also pull up on the main straightaway here. It is all going awry here in heat race number 18.
Mick Boyle, the right front tyre, completely deflated. I think
It's just shredded, isn't it?
A little bit more than a right front tyre, unfortunately. The left front up on there and loading up the right rear, but once you get the left-hand side of the car up there totally, it makes a mess of your turn entry. As we're about to go back to green flag racing here, there's 6 to run, Liam.
Wicks to lead us away. As you said, just 6 laps separate him from a National Modified Sedan title heat race win. Has Nick Eliasson got anything for Wicks? It doesn't appear to be right now. Can Jorgensen get by? Has he got anything to say about the V17 out in front? Brad Wicks looks too good so far in the E-Series Falcon. Trish Dyke goes to battle with Redcliffe. Pimenta continues to circulate. That car doesn't sound too crash hot at all. The Rocket Rodney, Q number 8. Jorgo and Nick Eliasson continue to go to work. Jorgo tucked right in on the tail.
Look at the entry speed for the Cortina of Adam Jorgensen. Fires it into the bottom of the corner. If Nick Eliasson wasn't there, he'd be right on the back bumper of Brad Wicks, I dare say, at the moment. Nick Eliasson, though, running a mean line on the bottom of the racetrack, making Jorgensen do the hard yards. If you want to go past me, you'll go around the outside, because Nick Eliasson is locked on the bottom and not opening the door at all. The Jacks Bull Bars number 25 for Dan's Automotive of Adam Jorgensen, trying to make something happen, but the opening isn't there at the moment. He gets in hot as there's just half a car with Liam, and he makes the move into position number 2.
How did he make that stick there? I will never know. But it's worked, and he's up the 2nd spot. The J. Nick Eliasson 34 is possibly the most unaerodynamic car you've seen. There are panels flailing off it everywhere. White flag wave for Brad Wicks. This will be a good chat coming up. The Australian Race and Rally Services V17 continues to lead down the backstretch for the final time. Into 3 and 4. He'll run the E-Falcon. And Brad Wicks is going to get the job done at the National Modified Sedan title. Final heat race of the night and a Limmy Bash to cover it. Oh no, oh, Jorgensen.
The front riders collapse in the Cortina.
Wow. How's that for a finish? Just ejected that right front corner. And Brad Wicks will be stoked with this. He's still rolling around under fire.
So Nick Eliasson comes home in 2nd, Trish Dyke in 3rd, and Jorgensen comes home in 4th after the right front corner collapses on the last lap. Wow. We'll take a quick commercial break, and Liam will catch up with Brad Wicks trackside, and he will be a very happy man after taking out heat race number 18.
So as he puts on the new Speedway Australia cap and kills the engine on the 17. Ladies and gentlemen, taking out the final heat race of night number 1 at the National Modified Sedan title. Put your hands together for Brad Wicks. Brad, how good's that, brother?
Not bad, mate. I didn't expect to get a heat win up here in a brand new car on the first night, so we can't ask for much better than that. Gifted the front row start, granted, but no, the old bus is travelling around all right, actually.
Mate, you absolutely nailed it. Anyone that follows you on the social media knows how much work has gone into this thing, and the pair of cars that both your boys have turned out are just immaculate and deserve the results you're able to finally get for this team, and you're back in the seat finally, hey?
It's been a bloody long time coming. All this COVID's ruined everyone's fun, I think, but it ended up being a bit of a COVID project for us, so it probably kept us a little bit sane, I guess, which was nice. If I can, I've got a bunch of people I need to quickly thank, because this has been a huge project. I've got to thank my beautiful wife Emma for allowing me to spend an obscene amount of money on race cars, my mum and dad, my little brother Michael, my brother-in-law Wilso, who fabbed a lot of the shit while welding the cage up. My little brother's fabbed a ton of stuff on this.
Ian Kay, he is a massive, he's ARRS on the side of the car. He's an absolute whiz with all the electrics, and he has donated tons of his time, tons of his money, and made all this work. I can't thank everyone enough.
I'm absolutely stoked for you, Brad. We'll grab a shot with the winners board here, and you're taking home the final heat race at a National Modified Sedan title here in night number 1. Such a cool result for this 2-car team out of Bendigo.
Odds feature race, 20 laps on the counter, and then we'll come back with Liam and myself. We'll round out night number 1 here on the National Modified Sedan title. Maury, it's Super Rod's feature race time.
Righto, and the lights are out. We're ready to go racing straight away. So Super Rods roll around. Green flag at the ready. Looking good for a start. And we're away. And green flag gets away. The 97 car there of Sean Welsh looking for the run around the outside. But it's Pitcher, Jacob Pitcher, that's got the lead. Walsh is right there with him. Sticks the nose up the inside. Just can't go on with the job at the moment. We got a few going round down the back there. Looks like it's the 31 car, Rod Smith. There's 4 of them involved in that. Themselves a little bit tangled up. I think a few were just thrown in to try and turn them around quickly.
It was a bit of a melee over there, Maury.
I don't think there's too much damage. I think they've all just...
apart from the 15 car who got in there a little bit late and got the wall, I believe that was Stacey Jacko, got in there a little bit hot and just gave the wall a little bit of a bump, but I think everyone else avoided too much contact, which is good to see for the Super Rods.
It certainly is. Open wheel cars, you can't afford too much. Too many things can get bent too easy.
It becomes very expensive.
As I was saying earlier on, these are sprint car chassis run. They're basically a sprint car with a little body on them, no wing, and they run a naturally aspirated 350 Chev LS2. There's a couple of LS1s in there, I think. LS2 Chev motors, but a pretty good package. I'd say they'd be a lot of fun to drive. And if you like going the other way, even more fun. Righto, the 97 car, they're just getting checked over, Sean Walsh at the moment. And don't forget, just while they're rolling around too, next meeting is next Saturday. We've got tomorrow, of course, the big title. Next Saturday, it's the V8 Dirt Modified Victorian title. And the Heartland Hustle for Production Sedans is on here next week. So... we've only got a spell of 6 days between racing and we're back into it here at Heartland. Then, of course, the big Easter, the North-South for Super Sedans is on at Easter. That's a big one that's been in the making ever since the national title, and it's had to be put on hold because of that nasty C word that popped up over the last 2 years. So we'll be hoping to get, we will be getting that underway at Easter. That'll be a big one, the North-South Super Sedans. A lot of the top boys wanting to come back here after the national title. They were that impressed with Heartland. They all wanted to get back there, so hopefully they'll be here. Right, our man that brings us tonight, Shane T. White Photography, is bringing us the Super Sedans once more. Super Rods hit Heartland on their, I think it's called the Super Rod Tour. They're on tour. I read that somewhere in my program before. But anyway, the Super Rods are there. On pole, the 83 car, Jacob Pitcher with Sean Walsh beside him. As they roll around, the 96 car tucked in there in 3. Dane Court on the outside of him, the 8 car of Jamie May, the Waterbull car. What did we lose? We lost one out of that little melee, so we hopefully we can keep all the rest on the track.
Yeah, that was the 15 of Stacey Jacko pulled to the infield. He ended up on the hook, unfortunately, Maury, but looks like as though we're set to go green for 25 big laps.
Yeah, off again, and the 97 grabs the lead. Sean Walsh straight into the lead. Straight back at him comes Pitcher. And yeah, that was a short-lived lead, that's for sure. Pitcher into the lead with Walsh right behind him. And May moved up into 3rd spot. 4th place goer now is the 96 car. And Jason Kavanagh sitting back there in 5th, and he's not really making any inroads at this stage. Jason, very well. His days at Bendigo in the hot rods were used to really put on a show, so I was always impressed with him. His dad was a top driver too, Barry Kavanagh. Trains racehorses these days. But out in front still, it's Jacob Pitcher from Sean Welsh, Jamie May, Dane Court. Jason Kavanagh sits back there in 5th spot at the moment with Paul Hoven in 6th, and Marco Jr., Rod Smith. We've got a challenge coming up now. Marco's sitting right on the back bumper there of the 84 of Paul Verhoeven. And then there's a bit of a gap back to our next one there in Rod Smith. Leader still doing it comfortable at the moment. When I say comfortable, he's got a whole car length. Sean Walsh was the quickest car, a 19.936 and a 19.94 between the leaders, Pitcher and Walsh. Jason Kavanagh just set the fastest, a 19.319. So Jason Kavanagh now on the move. He's in 4th spot, and Kavanagh on the move. I think he's only been in these cars now for a little while. As I said, an ex-XTAV hot rod driver for many years. But Pitcher out in front, and Pitcher still doing it nicely. He's pretty well got himself in a groove there, and he's not going to get out of it. He just sits there. He's going to make him come around the hard way. Opens the door up a little bit, but that only because he's stepping out in the back as you drive a sprint car, set him sideways, and the big slide jobs. But these guys, the track, you get up high, you're in trouble, and Kavanagh's got up high and he's in trouble. He's gone back one spot. He's got the pressure on him now from Marco, so you just cannot afford to get too far up on the track. It's a shame this track normally glackens right to the fence. It doesn't normally have that marbly thing, so unfortunately that's the way it's gone tonight. Our leader still comfortable out there. We've got 8 on the board now, 12 to go. They've still got plenty of time as the 31 car of Rod Smith works his way to the back. Up the front still, it's Pitcher, Walsh, May. Dane Court's back in 4, Kavanagh's back in 5, then Marco Jr. Marco Jr., bit of a slide job there that took him back a few more car spots. They've paired themselves off into trios at the moment, 3, 3 and 3, and big slide job down there. Lost a lot of ground. You just cannot afford to get off that racing line. It's dry up there, and I'd say it's very marbly. As they put another lap on the board now, 10 down and 10 to go. Down the back straight, still Pitcher, a 19.539's his best time. A 19.372 is Dane Court's quickest time, and a 19.319 is Jason Kavanagh's with a 19. Yeah, that's about the quickest there. So Kavanagh now back in 5, but it's May in 3 that might have half a chance of moving up the line. The leader he's just not putting the foot out of bed. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just sitting right there. The pack behind him cannot find a way. They just can't get out. They step out into the marbly stuff. You're going to have to be right on his tail and just move out half a car width. You can't go too far out. As they come out, and the big slide job again. Kavanagh's gone up there, had another look, lost another spot. Marco puts the nose in, has a bit of a look to go under. Bunched up again the front 5 now. It's closed up. It's still Pitcher though, but it has bunched up the top 5. Not much between them. Pitcher back to Sean Welsh. There's a difference of 0.185 of a second, so that's the difference 1 to 2. As now Walsh having a bit of a look on the outside. Now he's going to come in. He's got to keep that car down a bit. He doesn't get it up too high, but he's just lost his second spot. Got it up high enough for May to come through. Jamie May's up into 2 now in the Warrnambool 8 car. Jamie May and Dane Court stepped up. Just cannot get out too far. The big tyres on the bony stuff tend to slide a lot. And it is still out in front. Jacob Pitcher, but Jason Kavanagh just set the quickest time of 19.054 as he's got himself back onto the tail of this bunch. One thing to set the quick time, you've got to get past them, and we've just seen how hard it is. If they get off the line, they lose a lot of ground. The front bunch, there's only 0.845 of a second between the back markers. We've got one up on the fence there. One of the back markers is in trouble, and we've got them going everywhere all of a sudden. Don't know what happened there, but the front two got away. The other three went into panic mode. I looked down at my thing, and it's the 66 car of George Wollstonecroft. He heads for the infield. I think he's done a left rear tyre. Our leader, Jacob Pitcher, has got away from the third place getter. Jamie May stays with him here. Kavanagh sits back in 5, trying to work his way up. This is the last lap. There's an inquiry flag on one of the cars there, back in the field, but we should be 6 laps to go. 6 laps to go. I thought it was a 20 lapper. It's a 25 lapper. So we have 6 laps to go. Because of the pole shuffle, I think they might have given them a few more. Down the back straight again, we've got a bit of a move for third spot now. Who's come up? Our leader's still Pitcher. Pitcher, and it's Stan Marco Jr. has moved himself up into third. So Marco now on the charge. Pitcher, May, Marco, Court, Kavanagh. That's the front 5. The others are not in this race. Stanfield, then Verhoeven, Sean Walsh, Rod Smith. The battle's starting to tighten up now. Not much between them. The 96 car there of Dane Court, right at the bubble for getting back onto the podium. He was there a little while back, lost it. Kavanagh just can't do anything. Just can't step out far enough as they come around again. There's a gap there. He's gone out wide. Jamie May puts the nose in. Jamie May, big drop there by Pitcher. Pitcher hangs on to that, and only just he got out. I thought he was gone, but Pitcher, and now back comes May. May's gone, he's gone too far this time, turns it around and stops it. He did that all on his own. He just got out a little bit too wide and kept the boot into it, tried to bring it back, and there is a point of no return, and he found it. And round he went. The smoke was tyre smoke because he tried to drive out of that, and it was just wheel spin. But poor old Jacob Pitcher with 2 laps to go is going to have to go to the back of the bus, I'd say. You're going to declare it, they are. So where does Pitcher finish? The race has been declared. So Pitcher will finish last, will he, Mr. Chief Steward? The car that spun Pitcher to the rear. He goes to the rear. I've had that confirmed. So the win goes to Jamie May from Stan Marco Jr. and Dane Court. They're going to present these trophies on the track down there. Are you down there now still, Liam?
Mate, we'll be ready to go with the presentation. I think we're doing down here.
We are doing it down there. If you could deal with that, saves me running down there, mate. I'll just run through the field while you're sorting that out. Jamie May with the win, Stan Marco Jr. in second place. Dane Court and the Hamilton 96s in third. Kavanagh finishes fourth. Howard Stanfield fifth. Paul Verhoeven sixth. Rod Smith, Sean Walsh and Jacob Pitcher. Just does his lap of honour with the checkered flag. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. While he does his lap of honour, I think the presentation, they might have all left the track. We can do it down in the pits if that's the case. The pits will be open to the public once the race is declared. For those who do want to go down, talk to the drivers and have a bit of a look around. As I said, next meeting here is on the 19th, but we're back here tomorrow for the big one. Jared, you've got a few things you needed to sort out there too, mate?
Yeah, we'll just quickly recap the evening for everyone tuned in on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro One Race Parts. A massive thank you to our viewing audience at home, and a big thank you to everybody here at the venue who turned out with a very healthy crowd here on night number 1 of the National Modified Sedan title. Make sure you come back tomorrow night for what will be the final night of the Bendigo Metal Fabrication Speedway Sedans Australia National Modified Sedan title. Set to be a hell of a show tomorrow night. Looks as though our winner may not pull up for an interview with you either, Liam. You've had a few customers roll out of the pit gate tonight instead of coming to stop and chat with you.
They're scared of the high-vis, I think. It's pretty menacing, this vest. It crops me really well, so that's probably got to be what it is.
Yeah, possibly. But